I awakened an S-class supernatural ability that can generate unlimited magical power out of thin air. I thought I could finally reach the pinnacle of life, but instead became someone everyone despised, simply because my generated magic power is only useful to mages and healers, while I myself am just a level 29 low-tier hunter. During battles, I can only obediently watch from behind. Only when the mages in the team run out of magic power can I, this battery, finally be useful, immediately stepping forward to help teammates recharge their magic. With my assistance, the mage delivers a full-powered strike, successfully defeating the boss. Yet no one thanks me, they just treat me like a tool. Hunter Sano, you didn't seem to contribute much today. Go collect the useful parts from that boss. Despite feeling unwilling, I can only comply obediently. Isn't that guy a combat personnel? How come he has to do logistics work too? A nearby teammate mocks him. I heard he only has one skill called infinite magic generation. Ha ha ha. Don't get all excited just hearing about infinite magic. Though it's an S-class skill, it's useless. Only in situations like today's boss fight, where large amounts of magic are needed, can its effect be shown. Its use in regular monster hunting is basically zero, so despite being a hunter for 5 years, he's still not level 30. I can only silently endure these mocking voices. Just wait and see. Once I reach level 30, everything will be different. Returning to the Great Sage Guild headquarters, I was told the news I least wanted to hear. Sano, you should know that no one is willing to team up with you anymore. And with your current level of only 29, it's impossible for you to solo dungeons. So after everyone's discussion, we've decided to transfer you to the business department, where you can fully utilize your abilities. If I can't conquer dungeons, what was all my previous effort for? In the end, I chose to leave. However, what everyone doesn't know is, my ability is an infinite magic generation. Surprisingly, my skill actually awakened before I became a hunter. As the skill activates, a pop-up suddenly appears before me. Do you want to copy this object? After I click the copy button, CTRL+E below the pop-up. The pop-up instantly transforms into a stream of blue light. Then an identical copy of the food in my hand appears. I thought it was an incredibly powerful skill, but after understanding it, I realized how terrible its drawbacks are. As long as the copied items leave my body, the copies will dissolve into streams of light and disappear. What's infuriating is that copied equipment also has level restrictions. Equipment exceeding my own level will fail to copy. Strangely, copied magic power doesn't disappear, and can also be transferred to others for use. This created others' misunderstanding of my skill, hence, the skill infinite magic growth. Although I'm also copying other skills, there are various conditional restrictions. At this moment, a news alert pops up on my phone. The Kalesia Dragon Sword will be exhibited in the island nation. This longsword has 2 special skill slots and defense boosting effects. Its most special feature is that the moment someone grabs the sword, it raises the user's level to 200, while the equipment requirement is only level 30. However, this divine weapon known as the Legendary Sword only has 10 durability points, which is why it can be exhibited. But this is my perfect opportunity. Regardless of durability, I can infinitely copy it. I just need to reach level 30 within a week and touch this sword. So I joined a temporarily formed team to participate in conquering the Giant King Spider dungeon. And I still hide behind the mage, occasionally giving the blonde guy a boost. This blonde guy is also quite rude. Every time after his magic is replenished, he starts wildly unleashing ultimate attacks, not afraid of running out of magic at all. However, I don't care anymore. I only care about how much more experience I need to level up. Senior Sano, still looking at status information? This guy is called Ikanaga So, a member of the Great Sage Guild. He's indeed my junior, though I, as a senior, am living quite miserably. I heard he's short on money, so he joins these temporary teams to earn money when he has free time. Soon we arrived at the boss room. Boss, Giant King Spider, level 80. Such powerful pressure. Can we really defeat this guy? I'm extremely nervous right now. Seeing this, Ikanaga So comforts me. It's okay, senior. You just need to hide in the back. Subjugating the Giant King Spider is actually quite simple. Just watch out for its silk. Getting caught makes it hard to escape. And those spider eggs, once they're damaged, the Giant King Spider will go berserk. Just then, the blonde guy nearby gets impatient. Ikanaga So, why are you explaining so much to an audience member? Let's start already. Saying this, he irritably kicks at a small stone by his feet. But unexpectedly, the stone hits the spider silk. The Giant King Spider instantly senses the movement, suddenly lets out a tremendous roar, then attacks everyone. Damn mage, look what you've done. Fortunately, this attack was blocked by our tank, who also managed to cut off one of the boss's legs. What are you all standing around for? Attack! Everyone then raises their weapons and charges at the boss, bringing out their signature moves, while I can only hide behind and silently cheer for my teammates. However, an accident still happens. Just as the Giant King Spider uses its silk skill to attack, that idiot blonde starts acting recklessly again, actually casting a wide-range flame skill at the nest. The boss takes no damage due to the silk's protection, but the spider eggs in the nest suffer. Seeing this, the Giant King Spider goes completely berserk, instantly spitting out countless silks. Everyone can't escape in time, all getting entangled in the silks. Why is this happening? My flames have no effect on the silks. The blonde's shouting attracts the Giant King Spider, which slowly walks toward them. Only then does he realize his stupidity, terrified beyond measure. No! With a scream, the blonde completely disappears from this world. Seeing this scene, I'm filled with terror. My whole body is tightly bound by silks, unable to move. Who can save me? And the giant king spider's next target is actually me. Looking at the monster so close, I feel despair. I thought this low-level dungeon would be safe, but it turned out like this. I'm not willing to accept this. Do you want to copy and paste? Whenever I'm about to die, my ability automatically activates, pasting out a copy of myself from before. Then the original corpse disappears. My resurrection doesn't free me from crisis. I'm killed by the boss again. CTRL +5. The newly revived me immediately hides. This won't work. What should I do? Just as I'm troubled, I hear a weak cry for help. It's actually Ikunaga, so he's still alive. However, I can barely protect myself right now. Looking at the constantly approaching boss, I know if I don't do something, Ikunaga will surely die. Damn it. As a senior, how can I just watch my junior get killed? So I charge forward with my sword, heavily striking the foot the boss is about to attack with. The powerful recoil knocks me to the ground. Fortunately, the boss's attack is deflected because of this. Just then, a system pop-up appears. Level increased to 30%. I stare at the system panel in confusion. What's happening? How did I suddenly level up? Could it be that my attack just now had an effect? And while I'm in a daze, I'm killed by the boss again. CTRL +5, are you kidding me? Since my attacks can damage you, I won't run anymore. Even if I die countless times, I'll defeat you. After 3 days and nights of battle, I died 50 times. Nearly all the team's weapons were broken by me. The good news is, my level has increased again, and the boss is now covered in wounds. It's time to end this battle. I quickly dodge the boss's silk attack. When it attacks me again, I seize the opportunity and leap up, jumping onto its giant leg, then raising my sword high and leaping. Die! I use all my strength to slash at the boss's head, but the sword actually breaks. This is what you get with cheap copied goods, too unreliable. I lose my balance and fall heavily to the ground. The boss roars at me. As I prepare to face death again, a miracle happens. The spot I just struck suddenly shows cracks, which quickly spread throughout its entire body. With an explosion, the boss shatters into countless pieces. At this moment, Sano lies powerlessly on the ground, breathing heavily. Ha 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 ha, I finally did it. Then numerous level-up notification windows pop up. Congratulations on obtaining the Giant King Spider's reward. After resting, I carry Ikunaga and prepare to leave this dungeon. But we're hit by a sudden attack. I look ahead in terror, only to see numerous level 30 spider offspring emerging ahead. Damn it, I myself am fine, but Ikunaga is still here. Against so many spiders' attacks, all I can do is use my body to protect him. Just as these little spiders pounce, a miracle happens. The front spider is cut in half, and a figure suddenly appears before me. Countless spiders rush toward it, but the mysterious person just raises their weapon. A terrifying hellfire instantly burns all the spiders to ashes. Hellfire is the highest level fire magic. There are only a handful of people worldwide who can use it. If I remember correctly, there should only be one in the island nation. The magic swordsman who uses the witch's blade, the island nation's 5th-ranked hunter, Hunter Nanes. Are you two the only survivors? Looking at the bodies scattered on the ground, all high-level hunters. The low-level Sano not only survived in the boss room but also saved a teammate. Nanes has to start wondering what exactly happened here. How did you manage this? Back at the Island Nation Hunter Association headquarters. Unexpectedly, Hunter Nanes is also the director of Dungeon Immigration Management. After a few simple inquiries, Nanes says, "This is the Giant King Spider's spider silk. Along with other gains from this dungeon, I'll give them to you later. If there's nothing else, you can go." I can hardly believe it that simple. My team was unregistered, which constitutes illegal dungeon conquest. I can just leave like this? Such things happen every day. Many unregistered teams cause casualties by going to dungeons without permission for their own interests. The association has actually tacitly accepted this behavior. Getting this answer, I breathe a sigh of relief and get up to leave. Nanes picks up the spider silk and calls me, "You seem to have forgotten this. No need, please pass this and other gains to my junior." After saying this, I close the door and walk out. Looking at the spider silk in hand, Nanes is puzzled. What exactly is this guy hiding? Walking out the door, I can't hold back anymore. I smirk with a triumphant smile. Great, I succeeded. Spider silk. I now have infinitely many. The Giant King Spider's spider silk can shoot silks like the Giant King Spider. Has strong adhesiveness. Usage level 40. What the hell is this? After finally killing the boss, I get such an item. Anyway, let me copy it first. However, the moment I touch it, the spider silk actually disappears before my eyes. I look confused, not knowing what happened. Giant King Spider's spider silk absorbed by current skill. CTRL+5 ability value increased. I look in surprise at the text in the system pop-up. CTRL+E can copy controlled objects. CTRL+5 can paste targets. Level LV1 has 3 skill options. This is amazing. I didn't expect my skill could also level up. I immediately click on the 3 skill options below CTRL+5. A new pop-up appears before me. Option 1. You can paste your copied objects and maintain them for your desired duration. Option 2. You can stitch any objects you want within a specific time period. Option 3. you can untangle the giant king spider's spider silk. The evolved skill really gave me a big surprise. From now on, copied objects won't disappear immediately even if they leave my body. First, let me try copying spider silk for 1 minute. Indeed, it doesn't disappear after leaving my hand, and after quietly waiting 1 minute, the spider silk disappears on time. I'm going to be rich! If I set the time to 1,000 years or 10,000 years, wouldn't that be equivalent to never disappearing? Thinking about the gains in the dungeon, I can't help but laugh out loud. From today on, I'm a rich man. The best life awaits me. On the Rainbow Bridge, a huge truck is speeding along. This is the vehicle transporting the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. The personnel responsible for transport are Maul Grant, level 112, Ares Hugh, level 131, profession, mage. Both belong to the International Hunter Association. This should be the last stop for this swords exhibition. Do you plan to take a vacation after it ends? I want to explore the Island Nation's dungeons. I hope you can find treasure this time. However, Ares doesn't appreciate it. Minding others' business will cause trouble. Just then, a report comes through the radio, currently passing through Rainbow Bridge Dungeon. Communication will be interrupted for about 5 minutes due to electromagnetic interference in the dungeon. Hearing this, Maul looks out the window. The dungeon on the sea feels so romantic. However, Ares feels uneasy. Meanwhile, on the other side, at the Rainbow Bridge Dungeon Immigration Office, 2 hunters are on guard duty here. Fireball, this job is so boring. However, Fireball dismissively glances at Shinoda Satoru. You level 21 rookie, getting such an easy job through connections and still not satisfied? You should know 3 weeks ago, a major incident occurred here. Just then, something strange suddenly rolls to their feet. Looking closely, it's actually a slime. Shinoda Satoru quickly bends down to pick it up. Even cuter than the ones in dungeons. However, Fireball's face changes drastically upon seeing this. How can a monster appear outside the dungeon? Then a figure suddenly appears nearby. Fireball looks behind in terror, only to see a huge goblin, swinging a club toward them. Blood instantly gushes out. And right now, I'm still at the Hunter Association. Studying my information panel due to gaining massive experience from this dungeon conquest, I'm now almost level 50. Once I reach level 50, I can team up to conquer ultimate dungeons, just as I'm smugly preparing to use my ability to make money. A group of hunters rush past me. From their conversation, I learn the Rainbow Bridge dungeon has anomalies and is currently in red alert status. And the truck carrying the Khaleesi Dragon Sword is on the bridge. Are you kidding? The Khaleesi Dragon Sword is actually there? On the roof of the Hunter Association, several aircraft are already on standby. Hunters from the association have all come here, preparing to provide support. Then Hunter Nene steps forward. This mission prioritizes rescuing citizens. Protecting the Khaleesi Dragon Sword is secondary. Just as Nene is about to board the aircraft, she sees some commotion in the distance. Looking closely, that's right, it's me shamelessly following along. Hunter Nana say, please let me come along too. I also want to save more people. I can help guide and evacuate citizens. Nanase is surprised to see it's me. Remembering how I somehow survived before and helped my junior, she agrees to take me along. From other hunters, I learned the Rainbow Bridge dungeon seems somewhat strange. 3 weeks ago, they just quelled the unrest there, and now anomalies occur again. Nothing in this world is surprising anymore. Even collapsed dungeons can collapse again, and each time we must stop it to prevent the tragedy of 15 years ago from repeating. 15 years ago, global disasters occurred simultaneously. National-level disaster dungeons all collapsed. If monsters in dungeons aren't properly subjugated, dungeons will collapse due to saturation. Back then, many monsters rushed out of dungeons into cities. Massive numbers of citizens were attacked. Cities instantly became hell, and I was a survivor of that disaster, losing both parents. It was then that an otherworldly being appeared before me, placing the curse of copy-paste skills on me. He said the curse was a gift, with a 20-year limit. I just don't know if this limit refers to the skill's duration or my lifespan. There are still 5 years left until this deadline. If that being's appearance was due to that global catastrophe, that means, in 5 years, along with its appearance, disaster will also come. Now I've found a way to become stronger. If I can become the strongest hunter, I can prevent the next global disaster and lift the curse on myself. Right now, Rainbow Bridge is in complete chaos. Explosions can be heard from time to time. Shinoda Satoru watches helplessly as numerous monsters attack citizens. There are too many enemies, we need more hunters. Then, a goblin attacks from behind. Shinoda Satoru turns and swings his sword. Just after solving this one, another comes from behind for a sneak attack. Fortunately, he's saved by someone. It's Fireball from before. Thank you, you saved me twice today. If you hadn't tackled me earlier, I would have died. However, the other party seems to look down on Shinoda Satoru, thinking he got in through connections. But Shinoda Satoru silently determines in his heart, Senior, no matter what, I will repay you. Kid, we must get from here to the bridgehead. Quickly rendezvous with the rescue team. Right now, in the center of Rainbow Bridge, a giant beast is attacking the transport truck. It's actually a level 190 giant bear. Ares, is this truck really okay? Maul, I understand your anxiety. Don't worry. My protection magic is the highest level. Even a level 400 monster can't break my defense. However, an anomaly suddenly occurs. The entire bridge shakes and sways. Everyone looks at this scene in disbelief. Even the highest level defense is powerless against this. And right now, the Hunter Association's support aircraft just arrives. This is impossible. It's actually the Rainbow Bridge Dungeon's ultimate boss. A huge dragon-like monster suddenly appears on the sea surface. All units prepare to attack. The next second, the boss breathes dragon fire at the bridge. In an instant, everything around is engulfed in the attack. A large section of Rainbow Bridge in front of the boss disappears, leaving only the boss standing on the sea surface. I watch the scene in terror from the aircraft. Then the boss seems to notice the aircraft overhead, opens its mouth wide, preparing to attack. Another massive dragon breath shoots out. The aircraft explodes the next second. Everyone quickly jumps off to avoid it. Due to the dungeon boss's appearance, plans change. All Association hunters prepare to subjugate the boss. Soon, Association hunters gather. Then Nace activates magic, hellfire continuously emerging from the sword tip. With a loud shout, countless hellfires shoot from the sword tip, rushing straight toward the boss. Meanwhile, Sano uses spider silk to land safely. The primary target now is the Kalesia Dragon Sword. Along the way, Sano discovers numerous monster corpses but sees no hunters. Just as he's puzzled, a loud shout, "Run quickly!" Shinoda Satoru is desperately fighting the monsters before him. Behind him is the severely injured Fireball. "You go quickly, or you'll die too." However, Shinoda Satoru can't abandon his teammate. "You bastard, do you know why low-level monsters appear in high-level dungeons? Because they appear in groups, their combined strength rivals high-level monsters. If you don't run now, it'll be too late." But it's already too late. Wolf demons, level 15, individually low-level but usually appear in groups. Their combined strength rivals high-level monsters. Behind them are countless wolf demon figures. However, Shinoda Satoru has no regrets. "Senior protected me before, this time I'll protect Senior." Sano watches this scene from afar, remembering his own scene of saving his junior. His departing steps stop again. Right now, they're surrounded by wolf demons. Shinoda Satoru struggles to resist. But there are too many monsters. Just as the wolf demon is about to pounce on Shinoda Satoru, Sano arrives in time, directly using his body to knock the wolf demon away. "Are you okay?" Shinoda Satoru is surprised by Sano's appearance. However, his terror doesn't disappear. Numerous wolf demons have approached. "Thank you for your help. Let's run quickly." That pack of wolf demons is difficult even for high-level hunters to handle. However, Sano just stands quietly in place, smiling. Is that so? Just right. Shinoda Satoru is puzzled by these words. Sano calls up the system panel. As a group of wolf demons pounces toward him, he remains calm and composed. Sano is instantly submerged in the wolf demon pack. Seeing this, Shinoda Satoru is terrified. But the next second, countless spider silks bind all the wolf demons. Sano's figure emerges from the wolf pack. The effect seems pretty good. As the spider silk continuously contracts and binds, a huge spectacle appears before the two, followed by the system's level-up notification sound. Shinoda Satoru watches all this in shock. What skill was that? It solved so many monsters at once. However, Sano is now in a dilemma. If I leave these two here, they'll likely be attacked by monsters again. But I have important matters to attend to. I can't take two burdens with me. What should I do? I can only do this. Sano then takes out a bottle containing red liquid. After Fireball receives the bottle, he's confused. This is a mid-level potion. Taking it can heal your injuries. Fireball is surprised to hear this. "Why are you giving me such a precious thing?" "Because a senior's responsibility is to safely bring juniors back together." Shinoda Satoru is instantly moved. "Thank you so much. I will definitely repay your kindness." Just as Sano is about to leave immediately, he suddenly turns to Shinoda Satoru with a silly smile. "If you want to repay me, could you tell me which direction the International Hunter Association's transport vehicle is? I have a poor sense of direction." This statement leaves Shinoda Satoru stunned, not expecting his savior to be directionally challenged. On the other side of Rainbow Bridge, a group of mysterious people are rushing toward the center. The boss's appearance is completely unexpected. If we make one wrong step, we'll lose everything. Plus, Nace and those association people will prioritize subjugating the boss, because subjugating the boss is the fastest way to calm the dungeon. We'll take this opportunity to steal the Kalesia Dragon Sword. Right now, in the center of Rainbow Bridge, the monster giant bear is still frantically attacking. Then Ares casts another sleep spell. The giant bear falls to the ground and immediately sleeps. Put him to sleep again? Obviously a hunter but a pacifist. Just then a round iron ball flies toward them. Fortunately, Mol notices in time, cuts the flying iron ball in half with one strike. "I knew you'd come. This has happened several times during the touring exhibition. Come out, bandits." Then a group of black-clothed people emerge from the darkness. Sharp senses. "I'd really like to spar with you." Saying this, he leaps forward. Mol quickly raises his sword to block. "Don't underestimate guard work." Saying this, he swings his sword, but it's easily dodged and the opponent retreats. Mol immediately pursues. Ares hurriedly calls to stop him, but it's too late. Mol suddenly loses control of his body, accompanied by spurting blood. "What's happening to me?" Ares quickly runs over. Those guys use poison pills. After poisoning, they block magical power absorption in the body. Poison pills are clearly items banned by the International Hunter Association. Even the usually calm Ares can't help but rage. I'll make you regret this. Saying this, magic activates in his hand, but there's no damage at all. The black-clothed person mocks, a mage who can't use magic should just die. Saying this, a large fireball gathers in his hand. Just as he's about to fire, the black-clothed person's head is directly removed. The attacker is actually that giant bear. It turns out the mage's spell earlier awakened this monster. The black-clothed people seem so small before the giant bear. With a roar, all the black-clothed people in front are eliminated by the giant bear. Seeing this, the leader immediately flees. Miscalculation. Better retreat this time. The giant bear that eliminated the black-clothed people slowly approaches Ares and them. Can you make him sleep again? No. Now I'm also affected by toxins blocking my magical power. I knew your pacifism would get you in trouble someday. Didn't expect it would be today. Yes, but you're different. Saying this, he charges forward. A magic circle unfolds in his hand. Seeing this, Maul shouts loudly, "Come back, you'll die!" A mouthful of blood spurts out. Forcibly channeling magic to break through the toxins causes him unbearable pain. Is it still no good? By the time he reaches the giant bear's feet, his magic is exhausted. And what awaits him are the giant bear's sharp claws. Maul, I'm sorry. Just as the giant bear's claws attack, countless spider silks appear before Ares, instantly binding the attacking bear claws, then wrapping around the monster's entire body. The giant bear struggles continuously but to no avail, finally bound like a dumpling before stopping. Ares looks at this scene in disbelief. This is Sano's masterpiece. The three of them just arrived here, didn't expect it to actually work. Ares and Maul are wary of Sano's group's appearance, thinking they're more bandits here to steal the sword. No matter how Sano explains, they don't believe. Until Shinoda Satoru shows his ID, we are hunters from the Island Nation Hunter Association, responsible for managing Rainbow Bridge dungeon entry and exit. Seeing this, Sano assists again, taking out 2 mid-level healing potions. Anyway, heal your injuries first. Only then do Ares and Maul lower their guard. Just then, several aircraft fly overhead. Great. New support teams have arrived, we're finally saved. Right now, Hunter Nanace is still battling the boss. Just then, the boss enters its 3rd phase. Hunter Nanace immediately stops attacking. Watch out for the wide-range shockwave. Our reinforcements have arrived. We must buy time for citizen evacuation. Will the dungeon collapse be calmed like this? Hunter Nanace, long time no see. The newcomer is called Shirosaki Masato, level 503, profession, Dark Mage. Hunter Nanace looks back in surprise. How are you here? Shirosaki doesn't intend to explain, just raises his magic staff. Magic activate. A huge magic circle appears before the boss. Seeing this, Nanace immediately tells him to stop. If that magic can't defeat him, the consequences will be unthinkable. However, Shirosaki doesn't intend to stop. If you worry about these small things, nothing can be accomplished. Leave it to me this time. Dark lightning. As the words fall, the boss is enveloped by terrifying black lightning, letting out painful screams. Seeing this, Nanace quickly shouts, "Everyone run!" The boss's massive body falls. Rainbow Bridge sways left and right again from the impact. After the chaos, the bridge is already devastated beyond recognition. The surviving Sano is grateful to be alive. Thought I was going to die again. Looking down at the broken bridge below. Good thing everyone's okay, the transport vehicle is safe too. However, when looking to the other side, he's startled. A row of sharp, giant teeth comes into view. Immediately too scared to make any sound, afraid any movement will wake this monster. At this moment, Shirosaki flew over through the void, not expecting there to be survivors. Sano was surprised to see the emblem on his chest. It was actually the Future Guild, ranked 3rd in the Island Nation. Shirosaki noticed the giant bear bound nearby. He simply touched the spider silk lightly. The entire silk began to crack continuously. Even the giant bear was torn into countless pieces. I was shocked beyond belief at this scene. Then attracted by the system notification sound. Massive level-up prompts appeared before me, but there was no item reward for killing the giant bear. Shirosaki nearby also heard the level-up notification. These spider silks were actually made by you, kid. I accidentally took the giant bear's reward. Here, take it back. I don't like stealing from others. Just then, Nanace Hunter also arrived here. Seeing Sano, she was very surprised. Immediately said, "We need to leave now. If that guy wakes up, he'll immediately go berserk and launch wide-range attacks." Sano asked in confusion, "Why not defeat him while he's down?" Unfortunately, that's impossible. High-level bosses have multiple phases, and raids must be conducted phase by phase. According to the boss's abilities, when health drops to 1/3, it will use its ultimate skill. Whether it's berserking or area attacks, they're all full-range attacks. Right now, we're just entering the 3rd phase. The boss will have a barrier protecting itself, continuously absorbing surrounding magic power. Any attacks during this period are ineffective. Just then, the boss's eyes suddenly opened. It opened its mouth wide, roaring in fury. It awakened even earlier than expected. Shirosaki turned to look at Sano. "Kid, farewell. Don't blame me if you die." After saying this, he rushed toward the boss with Nanace, once again engaging in fierce battle with the boss. Sano immediately rescued everyone. "Everyone, the situation is urgent now. The boss has entered the 3rd phase and is about to launch a wide-range attack. But we no longer have time to escape from here. Everyone was shocked to hear this. So I must immediately obtain the Khaleesi Dragon Sword to defeat the boss. I promised to return it afterward. However, Morgan didn't believe such nonsense at all. Although you've saved us twice, with your low-level hunter status, even if you got that sword, you couldn't possibly defeat this ultimate boss. Moreover, that sword can't be used many times in its current state, so it still won't work? Just then, Aerys spoke up. We need a large amount of magic power to unlock the trailer's seal. However, we currently can't absorb magic power due to the bandits' toxins. This is perfect. I'm called the Mobile Magic Charging Station in the dungeon because I have an infinite magic generation skill. As my ability activated, Aerys was instantly filled with magic power. The seal on the transport vehicle was immediately broken. Seeing this, Sano immediately jumped down. I will definitely keep my promise to protect you all. Aerys, why would you do this? It's okay. He just restrained the giant bear earlier but didn't kill it. Is that what moved you? Women are truly incomprehensible creatures. After jumping onto the transport vehicle, I was extremely excited. The Khaleesi Dragon Sword was finally within reach. However, just then the bandit from before suddenly appeared behind me, directly raising his blade to strike. When Sano realized the danger, it was already too late. He was directly stabbed in the chest. Sano immediately fell into the vehicle. This treasure sword was finally obtained by me. As the bandit slowly opened the treasure chest, a pitch-black long sword lay inside. When the user dies, the giant foot spider's silk will randomly dissolve. As the spider silk broke, the entire transport vehicle plunged into the water, continuously sinking into the pitch-black depths. Are you sure you want to paste the object? When the assassin went to retrieve the Khaleesi Dragon Sword, Sano took the opportunity to revive and stand up, stabbing him through from behind with one sword. I'm the type who repays kindness with kindness, and revenge with revenge. Finally got the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. Sano immediately used the skill CTRL+C to copy. However, a system warning popped up. Due to the user's level not meeting the target requirements, the object cannot be copied. Sano looked at the system window in disbelief. How is this possible? Logically, this sword's level requirement is 30, and I'm over level 50 now, so I should meet the requirements. Just then, another accident occurred. The assassin from before wasn't actually dead, striking Sano viciously with his blade, blood spattering. Almost brought shame to the Blood Tower Guild's assassins. If I didn't have healing skills, I would have died long ago. The sword fell back into the assassin's hands. Unfortunately, I'm the type who forgets kindness, but returns revenge tenfold. This time you won't have another chance, saying this as he thrust his sword towards Sano. Damn it, I've come so far. The Khaleesi Dragon Sword fused with its user, copying Khaleesi Dragon Sword's ability value absorption. Absorption? What is this thing? However, the system notification wasn't finished yet, copying Khaleesi Dragon Sword's level and absorbing. Copying Khaleesi Dragon Sword's passive skill 35% defense increase and absorbing. Copying Khaleesi Dragon Sword's unique skill 1 vampirism and absorbing. Copying Khaleesi Dragon Sword's unique skill 2 berserking and absorbing. Completely absorbing all abilities of the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. When the user's health drops below 25%, the Khaleesi Dragon Sword user's protection mode is triggered. Khaleesi Dragon Sword's unique skill 2 berserking will be forcibly executed. At this moment, the Rainbow Bridge boss was about to unleash its ultimate skill. The wide area attack began. The situation was terrible. Just then, a massive energy burst from the seabed, directly piercing through the boss's entire body. Shirosaki and Inasa Hunter looked at this scene in disbelief. Boss defeated successfully. Dungeon cleared. Island Nation Hunter Association. This afternoon at 4 p.m., the Rainbow Bridge dungeon outbreak caused major casualties and disasters. Thanks to the Hunter's assistance, the dungeon was quickly pacified. The president immediately cut off the video. Everyone, don't make those expressions. Didn't we successfully kill the boss this time? Takuchi said. But I heard the Rainbow Bridge dungeon was just pacified 3 months ago. Shinoda said, even if it was pacified, it's possible for it to erupt again. Shut up, all of you. How exactly are you managing things that they keep erupting consecutively in such a short time? Nane's Hunter, sitting to the side, had no interest in these arguments. However, trouble came looking for her. What I want to know is that generally ultimate bosses need over 5 months to recover, right? Did Nane's Hunter lie before? 3 months ago, there was no successful strategy at all. Nane's, who didn't want to deal with it, became angry when she saw them pointing fingers at her. With a loud slap, she directly shattered the conference table with one palm. Just as conflict was about to erupt, the Hunter Association president immediately stepped forward to mediate. My staff was rude. I apologize on his behalf. Acting out can get you killed. Seeing the other party being relentless. Nane spoke, as they say, hearing is believing, but seeing is truth. No matter how much I say, you won't believe me. So that shockwave just now was exactly the reward from defeating the Rainbow Bridge boss 3 months ago. If you don't believe me, you can ask the person next to me. Also, I will be responsible for investigating the cause of this outbreak, and we will also pursue the responsibility of the negligent guild this time. Just then, Moore and Aerys walked in. We're from the International Hunter Association. We're here because there's an important matter to tell everyone. The Khaleesi Dragon Sword has been stolen. Please prioritize assisting us in recovering the sword. Wait, I heard that when you were attacked, you unlocked the transport vehicle's seal yourselves? That's because we accepted your hunter's assistance request. Present at the time were Shinoda Satoru from a major guild and Sano from the Hunter Association. Everyone was shocked to hear this. President Fuwa hurriedly took out his phone to search, but found no information about Sano. Only Nanase knew Sano's true identity. Did Sano really steal the sword? Of course not. At this moment, the Khaleesi Dragon Sword had already been taken by the assassin from that time, handed over to the boss behind the scenes, Kurosaki. Just holding the sword in hand can increase level by 200%. The longsword identifies users through runes on the handle. Spending hundreds of millions to cause the dungeon outbreak was still worth it. Just as the assassin was about to take the money and leave, Kurosaki directly killed him. The fewer people who know secrets, the better. Khaleesi Dragon's sword durability decreased by 2 points, 8 points remaining. Kurosaki looked at the sword in his hand and smiled. It would be no fun if it broke before being repaired. Sano woke from his nightmare with a start. The mark on his neck emitted a pale blue light. Damn it, this hourglass countdown is acting up again. Seeing Sano wake up, Shinoda Satoru was overjoyed. I was really afraid you'd never wake up, Senior. Don't look at that guy like that, he actually saved you. He mobilized many hunters from the Great Sage Guild to search for you. Finally found you unconscious on a beach. Oh right, you probably don't know yet. Shinoda Satoru is actually the son of Great Sage Guild President Shinoda Shiro. No way. Hunter Association President's office? Really? You personally witnessed Sano Hunter being killed? Yes, we saw it with our own eyes. Now that he's come back to life, aren't you surprised? I've seen stranger things since becoming a hunter. Please assign several high-level hunters to assist us in tracking the sword. Then let Nanase Hunter coordinate with you in this operation. The Khaleesi Dragon Sword isn't usable by everyone. It has runes carved on it that can identify the user's level. I can sense and track these runes, and I sensed it being used about an hour ago. Before being stolen, its durability was 10. Now the durability has decreased. We must find it before it disappears. After the great disaster 15 years ago, Ares' mother suddenly disappeared. Now the only clue is the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. It's Ares' mother's relic. This is the information Nanase has been able to investigate so far. However, Nanase is certain that Mor and Ares are definitely hiding some secrets, and Sano Hunter too seems to be concealing something. At this time, Shinoda Shiro suddenly approached Nanase. Planning to come back? Major guilds welcome you back anytime. However, Nanase said, major guilds should establish companies for management instead of just going to dungeons to make money. Today's Rainbow Bridge outbreak incident. Once I discover it's due to management negligence, I'll hold them accountable. Is that your reason for not coming back? The association still has many matters that need my attention, father. Fine. My daughter has grown up and has things she wants to do. At this moment, at Central Hospital, Sano sat alone on the rooftop checking his information panel. Sano, level 76 plus 200 levels, skill proficiency level 2, profession proficiency level 9. Although I couldn't copy the Khaleesi Dragon Sword itself, all its abilities seem to have been absorbed by me, especially Berserking. It's incredibly powerful. Berserking, all users' ability values and level double, duration 1 minute, cooldown 1 day. Activation condition, forcibly activated when user's health is below 25%. It even directly killed a boss over level 400 at that time. Boss defeated successfully. Obtained dungeon clearing reward. Obtained boss skill Shockwave, C-Tarl plus C skill evolved. Skill Shockwave absorbed and converted into Inherent Vibration and Inherent Wave 2 skills. Giant Foot Spider Silk level upgraded to LV2. When using Giant Foot Spider, you can simultaneously use Inherent Wave and Vampirism skills. Now my copy-paste skill has evolved to absorb and fuse. This is amazing! In the elevator, Sano was laughing to himself. A little girl asked, is this uncle having something wrong? And Inherent Vibration. I just tested it. It's incredibly powerful. Thinking about this, Sano couldn't help but show a sinister smile, scaring the other people in the elevator to tremble. Uncle looks so scary when he's having an episode. Just as Sano was leaving the elevator, a familiar voice caught his attention. I'm so glad you're okay. Didn't I tell you to run away immediately when there's danger? I quietly approached nearby, wondering who Nanase Hunter was visiting at the hospital. Sister, I'm sorry for making you worry. What? Nanase Hunter and Shinoda Satoru are actually siblings. Sano was shocked with his mouth wide open. After the siblings chatted for a few sentences, Nanase Hunter began asking about Sano's whereabouts. Sano in the distance heard this and immediately hid. Did they discover I impersonated the Hunter Association to steal the sword? I need to sneak away before anyone notices. However, he was caught red-handed by Mor. Thief, where are you running? Looks like there's no escape. Mor grabbed Sano's collar forcefully, pushing him hard against the wall. You actually dared to lie about being from the Hunter Association. No matter how Sano explained, Mor no longer believed him. We clearly saw you get killed, but now you're alive and kicking. How can you say you're not with those bandits? Saying this, he drew his long sword, preparing to use a sword technique. Seeing this, Ares hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. However, Mor had already lost his rationality, raising his sword to stab at Sano, just as he was about to hit Sano. CTRL plus, Inherent Vibration skill activated. Light immediately emanated from his fingertips. The moment it touched the blade tip, the entire longsword shattered like glass. Mor looked in disbelief at his longsword instantly breaking. At this moment, the siblings were attracted by the commotion and just witnessed that scene. That was the Rainbow Bridge boss's skill shockwave just now? Could he be the one who killed the boss? 15 years ago, disasters occurred simultaneously worldwide, with large numbers of monsters rushing out of dungeons into cities. Many citizens were attacked, and cities instantly became hell. Arita encountered an interdimensional being in the ruins, and it granted Arita a special ability. Initially, Arita thought awakening as a hunter just gave her a rather special skill. Ctrl plus Z, do you want to restore the object? Just like computer operations, it can restore any object to its original state, such as healing wounds on the body. Arita used this ability to restore many scraps, earning some money from it. Occasionally, she would act as a healer, helping people repair wounds. However, she wasn't satisfied with this earning speed. I need money, I need lots of money. Because her parents fell into a coma during that great disaster. Arita tried to use her skill to restore their condition to before the disaster, but using the skill required large amounts of magic power. Without magic power, she could only heal minor injuries. Only hunters can absorb magic power themselves. To obtain magic power, Arita joined a hunter team, handling their logistics, sometimes also acting as their healer. As an ordinary person who hadn't awakened, it was like coming before lions empty-handed, always accompanied by danger. She was just trying to get a share of magic power. Even so, she often faced mockery from her companions. In one dungeon raid, our team suffered devastating losses. Only the badly wounded Arita survived, looking at her dying teammates beside her. Arita not only didn't heal him but collected the equipment dropped by surrounding teammates. I'm sick of this life. Just then, that man suddenly appeared before Arita. I heard you need magic power. Make a contract with me. I'm called Kurosaki. Just like that, Arita Sara was taken away by him, later becoming a member of the idol group IF. I really envy you for being able to eat so much delicious food 3 times a day while maintaining your figure. Such a blessing in life. I still remember the first time I saw you. There was a guy about to die right in front of you, but you only cared about looting equipment from them. That's when I knew we were the same type. To avoid misunderstandings, let me state up front. As long as this contract exists, I won't interfere with whatever you do. Then why do you want me to go to the dungeon with you this time? Kurosaki took out the Calicia Dragon Sword and said, to repair it and use your ability to restore it requires massive amounts of magic power. I guarantee this is the last time I'll ask you to go to a dungeon. Hearing this, Arita Sara was extremely excited. Are you saying the infinite item generation is in that dungeon? Yes, we found it. Although our contract is to avoid having you go to dungeons as much as possible. But this time you must go with me, and it's the last time. Sano and his group followed Arisa's sensing to find where the sword was previously used. Looks like we're one step too late. By the way, you can only sense the opponent's location when they use the Calicia Dragon Sword. If this continues, the sword's durability will be gone. Right, I remember that Assassin said he was from the Blood Tower Guild. I've never heard of this guild. It might be some hidden dark guild. I know someone who definitely knows this intelligence. Soon, everyone arrived at Future Guild headquarters. So the person Nanasa mentioned was actually Shirosaki. Although Future Guild doesn't have the best reputation, as the country's second largest guild. Their dungeon strategy management and intelligence are world-class. Shirosaki walked into the office. According to Future Guild's investigation, Blood Tower Guild is a very mysterious organization. They seem to have recently set their sights on the Gargoyle Snow Mountain dungeon. This dungeon was discovered 15 years ago and has never been successfully cleared. According to data, this dungeon ranks first among the most troublesome dungeons, with only 2 strategy groups and 1 collection group. And there's a hidden boss, the giant gargoyle. Defeating this boss reportedly gives a hidden reward called the Giant's Heart, also known as Infinite Generation. Infinite Generation, although I don't need it, it's certainly a powerful item. And what does this have to do with the Calicia Dragon Sword? Are they planning to use the sword to defeat the dungeon boss? To strategy this dungeon, they're secretly recruiting on the Dark Silk. Recruiting Gargoyle Snow Mountain Strategy Group, 30 members, level 90 and above. Recruiter, Blood Tower Guild. Their behavior is extremely vile, frequently assassinating dungeon expedition teams in secret and plundering items. This is a guild full of darkness. At this time, Nanasa stepped forward and asked, since you already have the Giant's Heart project, are you planning to form a team to strategy Gargoyle Snow Mountain? We must go immediately. Shirosaki, do you have a strategy group that can be mobilized right away? Damn it, how did I get dragged along by that woman? Just like that. Shirosaki very reluctantly brought his strategy group to the Snow Mountain, of course including Sano and the others. Gargoyle Snow Mountain, Rock Giant, level 40, low attack power but high individual numbers. As long as the core isn't destroyed, they can regenerate infinitely. The monsters here may not be high level, but as long as their cores aren't destroyed, they can respawn infinitely, plus their large numbers, making them extremely troublesome. I really didn't want to come to this hellish place. Shirosaki raised the magic staff in his hand. Immediately, large numbers of gargoyles took flight. As dark magic activated again, the airborne gargoyles rapidly converged toward the center. Explode. The next second, a massive explosion rang out, and the gargoyles instantly turned to rubble. After finishing this, he turned to his teammates behind him. Remember to destroy the cores that fall down. Future guild hunters instantly became relaxed, with the captain here. It's so easy. Just like that, Shirosaki relied on his dark magic to continuously clear the monsters here. Sano witnessed all this from a distance, feeling speechless. He was so resistant before, but now he's become the most enthusiastic person. According to Ares' investigation, this dungeon should be an inductive type dungeon. Dungeons are generally divided by areas. For ordinary dungeons, as long as you're familiar with the routes, you can completely bypass some areas and directly challenge the final boss. But in inductive dungeons, you must strategy each area in order. If you fail midway, hidden areas won't appear. So we must defeat a certain number of gargoyles here before the boss will appear. The boss will only appear in the hidden area afterward, and we must be fast. If the reward for defeating the boss is the key to entering the hidden area, then we must get it before the Blood Tower Guild. For Sano, he doesn't care about any hidden boss. He came here with only one purpose: help Ares get back the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. CTRL +5, using giant foot spider silk. Instantly, countless spider silk entangled the gargoyles. CTRL +5, as the spider silk was used, inherent wave activated simultaneously, instantly crushing the gargoyles to pieces. Also striking a cool pose, real men never look back at explosions. Ares used ice magic, instantly freezing all the gargoyles ahead, combined with Moore's slashing attacks, easily defeating these monsters. However, the gargoyles were really too troublesome. Several hunters still couldn't match them, getting severely hit. Fortunately, Nanase arrived in time, slashing off its arm with one strike, then raising her palm to charge up, hitting the gargoyle with a shockwave, instantly blasting it to powder. Turning to ask if the hunters from before were injured. However, she discovered a familiar figure among them. Shinoda Satoru, why are you here? This person was Nanase's younger brother, Shinoda Satoru. Why can't I be here? I'm here as an official member supporting Sano-senpai. What nonsense are you talking about? It turned out that when Sano requested to strategy the dungeon, Shinoda Satoru lay on the ground throwing a tantrum to go along. I don't care, I want to go too. What if Sano-senpai gets lost again by himself? I can help guide you. Sano was also helpless about this and finally agreed. But there's one condition: you can only come as a member of my team. Hearing this, Nanase got a headache. What are two low-level hunters forming a rookie team trying to do? However, Shinoda Satoru defended Sano. Don't underestimate Sano-senpai. I personally witnessed Sano-senpai cut the Rainbow Bridge dungeon boss in half, recalling the various signs from these past few days. This is indeed possible, but how exactly did he do it? On the other side of the dungeon, Blood Tower Guild was also rapidly clearing gargoyles. Kurosaki and Aritasara were leisurely resting near a cave entrance. We don't need to participate in this kind of mob clearing work, just use stealth skills to hide among the strategy group. Although stealth skills are convenient, be careful of some high-level hunters. Their perception is often very sharp. Looking at Aritasara, how's the magic absorption going? This is a high-grade magic transmitter, very expensive. You need to defeat 100 low-level monsters to fill it up. In the previous Rainbow Bridge dungeon, I used 10 of these to turn it into an outbreak state. Restoring the Khaleesi Dragon Sword requires about twice that amount. You want to restore this sword to use it to defeat the hidden boss here. From what I understand, there's a very powerful barrier in this hidden dungeon, and the only way to break this barrier is with the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. I'm curious where you got this intelligence from. However, Kurosaki didn't plan to answer this question. You just need to restore what I want, don't worry too much about details. Your eyes are so scary. As long as this contract exists, I don't care what Kurosaki does, as long as I can obtain the infinite generation item. Get enough magic power to restore my parents. I'm willing to do anything. When they defeated about 200 gargoyles last night, a mutation occurred. The ground began to crack. Countless gargoyle fragments flew forward. A terrifying monster was staring at us from the darkness. A huge monster suddenly appeared before everyone. Curveball, Gargoyle Snow Mountain Boss, level 150. The boss extended its giant hand toward everyone. Damn it, this boss is way too big. Just then, Shirosaki stepped forward, hitting the boss with dark magic, instantly shattering the boss to pieces. Amazing. Finished it with just one hit. However, the next second the boss's core appeared, quickly falling to where the previous gargoyle remains were. The surrounding debris began continuously converging toward the center. The two hunters nearby were frozen in fear. At this point, the boss had basically recovered. Oh no. Shirosaki hurriedly used dark magic again, shattering it once more. However, the core remained intact. Just then, Sano seized the opportunity, directly using giant foot spider silk on the core. Countless spider silk wound toward the core. However, the speed and strength were too weak to stop the boss's recovery. The boss in front now seemed even more powerful. Damn it, each recovery absorbs the surrounding gargoyle debris. We need to think of something fast. Just then, Nanae swung her spear using Hellfire, charging straight at the boss. However, it had no effect whatsoever. Damn it, can't melt its core. I knew it. Don't think you're amazing just because you act all high and mighty. The most troublesome part of this dungeon raid is still the middle boss. The condition to trigger the boss appearance is defeating a certain number of gargoyles. However, the boss can also repair itself using gargoyle debris. This is the terrifying aspect of inductive dungeons. Ordinary hunter teams would have already fled in panic or been completely wiped out. This can rival the ultimate boss of ordinary dungeons. So there are two ways to defeat it. One is to destroy the core. The other is to melt all gargoyle debris. However, this workload is also enormous. After these few strikes, Nanasa was already sweating profusely, but the boss revived behind her again. Nanace hurriedly turned around, using sheer willpower to use Hellfire again, completely melting its debris. Sano on the side anxiously watched all this. If he used the Khaleesi Dragon Sword, he could definitely solve this smoothly, but this would be discovered by Ares and the others. Just then, Sano thought of something, taking out a previously obtained item from his system space. Giant Bear's Foot, Skill 1, can control any object for a period of time. Skill 2 can enter any object and damage it. Sano immediately used CTRL +5 to absorb, obtained Skill 1. If used with Spider Silk, the silk will become more solid. Skill 2, enter target body and absorb 15% of health and magic power. Sano immediately charged toward the boss. Now there's a chance. At this moment, Nanase was still melting gargoyle debris. Even if Nanase Hunter is powerful, she can't use Hellfire indefinitely. If this continues, it might become dangerous. Oh no, already at the limit. The boss directly extended its giant hand toward Nanase. At this critical moment, countless spider silk wound around, binding the boss like a mummy. Made it just in time. Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. Sano urgently found Shirasaki, requesting another attack while he stopped the core's movement. Shirasaki didn't hesitate, immediately activating dark magic. The boss was shattered to pieces again. The moment the core appeared, countless spider silk wound around it, immediately surrounding it tightly, blocking contact between the core and debris. Success! Shirasaki couldn't believe his eyes, actually being able to trap a high-level boss with low-level items. Everyone cheered at the sight. Not far from the battlefield, Kurosaki and Arita Sara had planned to reap the benefits from the sidelines. However, Sano's spider silk disrupted their plan. Stop collecting magic power. Advance the plan, prepare to implement combat operations. Immediately, the Hidden Blood Tower Guild hunters all began to move. Because of that strange guy, things developed this way. Now seizing the core has become very troublesome. I'll have to act personally. Just as Sano was asking who should destroy the core, everyone unanimously agreed, since you captured it, you should destroy it. Sano didn't refuse after hearing this. After all, he really needed this reward now. With one sword thrust down, the core instantly shattered, successfully defeated the moving gargoyle. Instantly, countless level-up notification sounds rang out. You destroyed the moving gargoyle's core. You received a reward. Key to close the heart. You can open the dark door that seals the giant's heart. The key to the hidden area was instantly obtained. Sano, level 85 plus 200 levels. Skill proficiency level 5, profession proficiency level 10. This is amazing. With the sword's effect, I'm now level 285, just 15 levels away from reaching the advanced hunter level 300 range. Ha ha ha. Shirasaki, watching from behind, was completely baffled. Isn't he just a level 85 rookie? What's there to be so happy about? Who just assisted the rookie in catching the boss? Are you kidding? Me, an advanced hunter, assisting a rookie? You must be seeing things. Just then, huge black pillars suddenly emerged from the ground. Everyone wondered what was happening. Numerous identical black pillars appeared all around. The pillars were covered with mysterious runes. Everyone, get away from here quickly. But it was too late. The area surrounded by the stone pillars exploded violently. All the hunters around were caught in the blast. After the explosion, the future guild hunters were severely injured. Then a figure emerged from the smoke and dust. This world truly has nothing that money can't accomplish. As long as you abandon your so-called conscience, victory becomes so simple. Found you. Dispel the King Giant Foot Orb's web. The web began to dissipate. Sano immediately flew out from within, seeing the masked man holding the Khaleesi Dragon Sword. He immediately raised his sword and charged forward. Hand over the sword! However, it was like an egg hitting a rock. You're quite clever, not only using the web to defeat the boss, but also successfully withstanding the explosion's impact. You've completely disrupted my plan. Saying this, he swung the sword down at Sano, a vicious slash, heavily striking the ground. Bastard, stop it! Nanase nearby watched this scene anxiously. She completely lost her reason, raising her spear and using her strongest skill, Hell's Fuse. At this moment, Ares noticed the anomaly and hurriedly tried to stop her, but it was too late. A terrifying hellfire shot straight toward Kurosaki. After the smoke cleared, unexpectedly, it was Nanase who was severely injured. Seeing this, Shirasaki shouted anxiously, "Quickly use recovery skills!" Ares immediately came out to stop this behavior. Master Shirasaki, you cannot use magic. During the explosion just now, the air was filled with toxic gas, preventing us from properly absorbing magic power. This is Blood Tower Guild's usual trick. At this time, black liquid kept emerging from the ground. Kurosaki appeared in front of everyone again, completely unharmed. This is impossible, it's shadow movement. That guy can actually use the highest level skill in the stealth system. Kurosaki came to the dying Sano again. He saw the boss key had fallen nearby. As he picked up the key to close the heart transferred to the holder. Objective achieved. However, Kurosaki had no intention of leaving, directly grabbing Sano's neck. He slammed him heavily against the nearby stone pillar. This guy must die here. My thoughts are the same as yours. I didn't expect the one who stole the sword to be such scum as you." Saying this, he quietly used the skill web, continuously wrapping around Kurosaki, until he was completely covered within it, using the King Giant Foot Orb's web to trigger the Giant Bear Chain skill. The next second, all the webs grew rows of sharp spikes, continuously wrapping together, finally forming a huge garlic bulb. This is the consequence of stealing my sword. However, when the web was dispelled, Sano was shocked to discover there was nothing inside at all. At this time, Kurosaki emerged from behind Sano. "I was careless. This is the first time I've seen such a skill. If there hadn't been shadows inside too, I would have really died." Saying this, he prepared to deliver a fatal blow to Sano. "Do you know my nickname? Everyone used to call me the Moving Magic Charging Station. Although this is the first time using it like this, there shouldn't be any problems. Are these your last words? Goodbye then." Just then, Shirosaki felt endless magic power gathering in his body. Although he didn't know what was happening, this was just right. "Let me end the Blood Tower Guild." Instantly, a huge light orb condensed in the air. Kurosaki looked on in confusion. It's actually Shirosaki's wide area magic. Where did he get the magic power to release such large-scale magic? "My shadow movement is being countered, can't I escape? This is troublesome. I can only do this then." "Sarah, now!" "Roger that." Immediately, all the boxes around Arita Sarah opened. Countless magic power flew out from the boxes, condensing into a huge magic power orb in the air. CTRL+, restore the Gargoyle Snow Mountain maze to its initial state. Suddenly, the entire snow mountain began to howl with fierce winds, instantly completely covered in terrifying air currents. Fortunately, Shirosaki opened a barrier to protect everyone within it. With the raging air currents, the gargoyle debris began to continuously gather, finally assembling together. "They've revived again. What's going on? Could it be that the maze has been initialized?" Dense swarms of gargoyles poured out again. A huge gargoyle clenched its fist and attacked, instantly arriving in front of Shirosaki. "Damn it, there's still poison gas around that interferes with magic power absorption. I must use a barrier to protect everyone. But this way, I can't deal with the gargoyles. Staying in the barrier will only lead to our doom." Just as Shirosaki was troubled, Nene stepped forward, directly hitting the gargoyle with a fierce hellfire. Shirosaki was very surprised. "Hunter Nene say, how can you still use magic power? Didn't you hear what Hunter Sano just said? Moving Magic Charging Station can infinitely generate magic power and share it with companions. This is said to be Hunter Sano's unique skill." "This is impossible! Only mage-type hunters can do such things, and Sano isn't one at all. Hunters like me and Hunter Nanes, who are super high level, need massive amounts of magic power to activate skills. And it's not just me. All members present have had their magic power instantly filled by him. I've never heard of any skill that infinitely generates magic power. If it's true, then instead of searching for the giant's heart, we should directly invite Sano to join our guild. I didn't expect Blood Tower Guild could initialize mazes. That would explain why Rainbow Bridge Maze has been continuously rioting in such a short time. The question now is how many times can they use this ability? I think they can't use it again in a short time. So far, we haven't discovered the hidden maze. There must be some hidden condition we don't know about. They must have done something that makes the hidden maze appearance probability 100%. But it's strange. Compared to the original Snow Mountain, there are indeed far fewer gargoyles now. Anyway, we need to quickly deal with these guys and catch up to Blood Tower Guild. And what about Hunter Sano now? I hope he can survive. At this moment, in a corner of the Snow Mountain, Sano crawled out from the web ball. That damn bastard. He actually used the Khaleesi Dragon Sword's ability at the last moment. Fortunately, I wrapped myself in webs at the crucial moment. I almost died. But thanks to him, I now know the method to draw out the sword's power. Speaking of which, this place is all white. Which way should I go? Meanwhile, at the Hunter Association in the Island Nation, President Shinoda, don't worry too much. President Shirosaki from Future Guild is also with them. Getting involved with Blood Tower Guild is always a big trouble. We still have too little information about that guy. We just received a message. Blood Tower Guild seems to have connections with Star Stadium Guild. How is that possible? Are you sure you're talking about the world-class Hunter Guild Star Stadium? That maze is one of the maze riots from the Great Disaster 15 years ago. The gargoyles that crawled out then were more terrifying than demons from hell. The one who sealed them back then was Hunter Nishimoto Tomoka, one of the world's strongest mages. Without Hunter Nishimoto's sacrifice, the consequences would have been unimaginable. The giant's heart sealed in the hidden maze now receives attention from around the world. Star Stadium Guild and Blood Tower Guild are both groups that will do anything to achieve their goals. It's not surprising they'd team up. Also, Aries from the International Hunter Association is Hunter Nishimoto's daughter. This time, she seems to want to investigate the truth behind her mother's death. But Hunter Nishimoto hasn't been officially declared dead, right? What are you saying? After all these years, could she still possibly be alive? 5 years ago, a survivor walked out of this maze. He said he seemed to have seen Hunter Nishimoto's figure. The other two were immediately shocked. Interestingly, that hidden maze has several entrances. Just then, someone burst in, "President, this is terrible. The maze has gone red." The person immediately turned on the TV. The TV showed complete chaos. A maze outbreak suddenly occurred in the city center. Now large numbers of citizens are fleeing, and the monsters that appeared are actually Snow Mountain gargoyles. What on earth is happening? Deep in the Snow Mountain, Blood Tower Guild members were continuously advancing deeper. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Kurosaki injured. Will there be problems with the upcoming strategy? That's not for you to worry about. Soon everyone arrived at the hidden maze of Gargoyle Snow Mountain. Shinoda Satoru used stealth skills to follow behind. So this is the hidden area? Blood Tower Guild personnel came to the maze entrance. However, they were blocked by an invisible wall. Boss, we can't seem to get through here. We're blocked. Star Stadium Guild truly lives up to being a world-class guild. The information they provided is completely accurate. This is the masterpiece of the strongest mage hunter Nishimoto Tomoka from 15 years ago. The giant's heart is sealed in the hidden maze. Everyone prepare to break the seal. Don't let your guard down. Blood Tower Guild members immediately scattered to deploy. Arita began preparing to restore the sword. Just then, Kurosaki seemed to notice someone following them. What an ignorant person, daring to sneak and pursue Blood Tower Guild. Hearing this, Shinoda Satoru was terrified. Was I discovered? I don't want to die. The next second, Kurosaki directly raised his sword and slashed down. On the other side of the snow, a cute little stone was hunting. Snow Mountain's berserk rabbit inhabits near hidden mazes, level 30, often goes berserk from hunger, drops magic stones when defeated. Just one hit killed it. Immediately, a red magic stone dropped. Little Stone immediately went forward to pick it up, then ran away quickly, soon arriving in front of its master. Unexpectedly, its master was actually Sano. Well done, eat it. Hearing Sano's words, Little Stone immediately threw the magic stone into its mouth and began chewing. It turns out this little stone was actually generated from the previous boss core, the Moving Gargoyle's core. Injecting magic power into it will generate a gargoyle. Skill 1 can freely generate the appearance you want. Skill 2 can become armor to protect the master. Skill 3 can share senses with the generated gargoyle, including vision and hearing. The higher the level, the greater the sharing range. Sano looked proudly at the core in his hand. This is fantastic. 1 core equals 1 gargoyle. If I could copy many of them, wouldn't I alone be able to form an army? That means I can solo attack mazes in the future. Snow Mountain Gargoyle, when upgraded to level 10, can freely change shape and share senses with it. Just then, Little Stone suddenly sensed someone approaching and rushed toward the newcomer. Unexpectedly, the person who came was actually Shinoda Satoru. Shinoda Satoru saw Sano. He excitedly hugged him. I thought I'd never see you again. After Sano learned that Blood Tower Guild had already found the hidden maze, he immediately set off. I was so scared then, I thought they had discovered me. Unexpectedly, they discovered another stalker, most likely a future guild member. There's also a girl with them. She seems to be in charge of collecting large amounts of magic power. Then they began some kind of ritual. The maze initialization was her doing. I thought about going up to stop her, but I was extremely scared at the time. I'm sorry. You've already done very well. By the way, that girl looked very familiar. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. Speaking of which, I've been wanting to ask, is it okay for that thing to keep following us? I forgot to introduce you. It's my little sidekick. This is so cute. I didn't expect Senior Sano to be a familiar controller too. Soon they arrived at their destination. The hidden maze was across the bridge. Sano knew that with just the two of them, it would be difficult to deal with Blood Tower Guild. Shinoda Satoru, go bring Nanase and Shirosaki here. I'll stay here to monitor them. Shinoda Satoru immediately felt disappointed, so soon he had to part with Senior Sano again. To ensure safety, Sano gave the Moving Gargoyle's core to Shinoda Satoru. From now on, he's your little brother. Don't let his appearance fool you. He's very strong in battle. Shinoda Satoru was moved to tears. Can you really give me something so precious? Actually, it's not that precious. I have unlimited numbers of them. So Shinoda Satoru left with the core and Little Stone. Watching them leave, Sano immediately took out a newly pasted core, preparing to generate a brand new gargoyle. He tried to shape its appearance according to his own ideas. Soon, a bird-type gargoyle was completed. Through sensory sharing with the gargoyle, Sano clearly saw Kurosaki and the others. He saw Aritasara holding the Calicia Dragon Sword. Countless magic power continuously spurted from the collection boxes around her. CTRL Plus restored the Calicia Dragon Sword's durability. At this moment, the Calicia Dragon Sword's durability was 6%. The numbers kept changing until it became 100%. Successfully restored the Calicia Dragon Sword's durability. Using the skill instantly exhausted Aritasara's stamina. That's enough. Kurosaki excitedly picked up the sword from the ground. Finally, I can use it to my heart's content. Sano couldn't believe what he was seeing. How did she do that? The sword's durability can actually be restored too. Could she be a cursed ability user like me? From the current information, her ability is CTRL plus Z, which can restore all things to their original state. Actually, I can copy skills, but there are usually many limitations that make them difficult to use even when copied. Sano looked at Aritasara and secretly made up his mind. I need to form an alliance with her first. At this moment, Kurosaki held the sword, preparing to destroy the seal. He slowly pierced the barrier with the sword tip. Immediately, the sealed chains began to make collision sounds. The next second, a huge magic circle appeared under Kurosaki's feet. Without the information provided by Star Stadium Guild, even with this key, we couldn't break through the barrier. Saying this, he inserted the sword into the center of the magic circle. The only thing that can break this seal is this sword. The seal here is the masterpiece of Hunter Nishimoto from 15 years ago, and the original owner of the Khaleesi Dragon Sword was her husband. Hunter Nishimoto set up a barrier that only her husband's sword could break. Her husband was called Frederick Shu, the world's greatest swordmaster. Kurosaki rotated the sword 90 degrees. Immediately, the magic circle began to change. Dazzling white light continuously spread from the center. The gargoyles in the air were shattered by this power. Damn it, they can't withstand this power. Gradually, the barrier's power began to recede, until it finally dissipated, revealing the true entrance to the hidden maze. The hidden maze of Gargoyle Snow Mountain finally appeared again after 15 years. It's time to search for our true objective, the giant's heart. Seeing them enter, Sano began to struggle. Should he follow alone, or wait for reinforcements? In the S-rank maze in the south, dismembered bodies were everywhere. Only one man stood intact nearby. Your target was only me, wasn't it? Why did you kill them all? If I only killed you, I'd become a murderer. But if I kill everyone, it'll just be considered a maze accident. The next second, the man on the ground disappeared into the pool of blood. CTRL Plusa, when the skill user dies, the skill transfers to the next person who can use it. Thus, the man obtained the other's cursed power by killing him. Immediately, his neck felt a sharp pain. The man's neck actually bore 3 hourglass marks, with the red one clearly just generated. The man immediately felt his newly acquired power. CTRL Plusa, select all. Immediately, blue inverted triangles appeared above all the dismembered bodies at the scene. CTRL Pluston, cut the selected targets. The next second, a huge void appeared in front of him, devouring everything around it. Just then, an elf man appeared behind him. Looks like your skill has evolved again. Compared to erasing them one by one, the range has obviously expanded greatly now. To steal cursed skills, I must kill the other person. This troubles me. However, what makes me most angry is that even after I master this skill, it won't evolve. Unfortunately, this is the only way to obtain another's cursed power. Unless you obtain CTRL plus C. We've been searching for him for over 10 years, yet there's been no news. I'm starting to doubt whether CTRL plus C really exists. Believe me, he does exist in our dimensional world. And isn't that CTRL plus F guy searching for him? I'm sure we'll have news soon. According to our intelligence, CTRL Plush is currently known to be with Blood Tower Guild, and they should have already broken through the barrier set by Hunter Nishimoto. CTRL plus Z is important, but you must ensure you obtain the giant's heart. It's a very crucial item that can ensure you fully unleash the potential of cursed power when using it. In the hidden maze, everyone regrouped to explore together. There was no sign of enemies anywhere. They clearly didn't enter that long ago, and not a single monster was found. We must quicken our pace and catch up to them. But just then, Shinoda Satoru's feet suddenly emitted dazzling light. Oh no, it's a magic circle. The next second, everyone in the magic circle disappeared. Everything happened too suddenly. Sano watched helplessly as they vanished before his eyes. Nanase and Sano anxiously ran up. A huge magic circle lit up on the ground. With a dazzling flash of light, everyone was instantly transported to an unfamiliar place. But they didn't see Shinoda Satoru and Shirosaki anywhere. How can they not be here? We clearly followed them in immediately. Just then, a huge monster descended from above, just as Sano was about to be swallowed. Nanase behind him immediately rushed forward. She swung her blade at the monster, instantly severing its head, thus successfully resolving one crisis. Why are there dinosaur-type monsters here? I feel like we've been transported to a completely different world. This might be a multi-dimensional maze. That's impossible. I heard that in the Great Disaster 15 years ago, all multi-dimensional mazes were destroyed. But how else can you explain what's happening before us? Teleportation magic circles are important markers of multi-dimensional mazes. They can create connections between different dimensional mazes. Once a magic circle is activated, a door to another world opens. Could this be why Hunter Nishimoto sealed this place? So Shinoda Satoru and Shirosaki were very likely transported to another world. Then if we want to reunite with them, we can only clear the maze and eventually reach where the giant's heart is located. Then let's begin. Come on, the battle starts now! At this moment, in the city center outside the maze, due to the maze going red, large numbers of gargoyles were continuously destroying the urban area. Citizens all began fleeing for their lives. Only hunters could barely resist. But as long as the cores weren't destroyed, the gargoyles could revive infinitely. And due to different magic power densities between reality and the maze, mages found it difficult to release large-scale magic here, leading to severely insufficient combat power. Damn Left Eye, it's not here when we need it most. If we had its infinite magic power generation skill, the battle would be simple. Just as the bald warrior was in danger, a sword light flashed. A blonde man split the gargoyle in half with one strike. The reason the man saved that warrior was because he heard their conversation. What's this infinite magic power generation you mentioned earlier? The bald warrior, to repay the life-saving favor, told the blonde man everything he knew. I've never heard of such a skill. Could it be him? Just then, two massive magic powers appeared on the rooftop of the association building. It was actually the presidents of the two strongest guilds in the island nation. A huge gargoyle headed in their direction. Looks like it's up to us. If we don't act now, there might be greater casualties. Takuchi Go immediately jumped down, activating his skill stone armor. Takuchi Go was instantly covered in stone all over his body. After a loud crash, the transformed Takuchi Go emerged from the smoke. At this time, the gargoyle had already arrived. Just one light punch shattered it. Then he charged forward with overwhelming momentum. Shinoda Shiro also began exerting force, launching a magical bombardment. Opening a path for Takuchi Go, a brilliant magical energy impact struck the ground, allowing him to smoothly reach the boss. The boss swung its huge fist at Takuchi Go. But Takuchi Go not only didn't dodge, he raised his fist to meet it. One punch, two punches. The boss's body gradually cracked. The next second it turned into fragments, revealing the red core. I won't let that old man claim the boss for himself. Saying this, he crushed the core to powder, successfully quelling the maze riot while they were still celebrating. The previous blonde man had already gathered intelligence. CTRL-PUSF. Target Takuchi Go does not use CTRL keys. Worthy of being the #1 guild president in the island nation, he quelled the maze riot in just a few minutes. Even though he doesn't use CTRL keys, useful information was still collected. I remember CTRL Plus should still be in the maze now. I hope he didn't die in there. To obtain the Giant's Heart, Blood Tower Guild members came to the depths of the hidden maze. Unexpectedly, countless zombies appeared. Too bad they're all small fry before the legendary sword. Kurosaki simply swung his sword once and eliminated them all. Monsters cleared. Now moving to the boss room of the giant puppet heart. Immediately, dazzling white light rose from everyone's feet. The next second, they arrived in front of a huge stone door. Kurosaki immediately took out the key he had seized earlier, inserting it into the door's keyhole. As the door opened, everyone walked inside. The room's walls were lined with a row of huge statues. No boss was found. However, only Aritasara felt an indescribable pressure that made her unable to breathe. Could it be because I'm not a hunter? Just as one member was still wondering, a slap came down with a smack. He was flattened into meat paste by a huge palm. One of the statues came before them. Damn it. This statue moves, everyone be careful. But it was too late. The surrounding statues had already surrounded them, encircling the Blood Tower Guild members. Aritasara was frozen in shock by this sudden turn of events. This immediately infuriated Kurosaki. What are you standing there for? Quickly use restoration skills to save our fallen comrade. Only then did Aritasara realize she was the team's healer. She immediately rushed over, taking out the magic power devices she had collected earlier from her backpack. But she was shocked to discover the magic power was leaking. How is this possible? Even advanced mages can't break the seals on these magic power devices? And why is all the magic power flowing in the same direction? Blood Tower Guild members had already engaged in battle with the statues, but they clearly felt outmatched. Kurosaki hurriedly called for teammates to use landmines against them. I don't know what happened, but stealth skills and landmines can't be activated normally. The statue struck with force. Kurosaki's eyes widened in shock. His teammate had died at its hands. In just a moment, all other Blood Tower Guild members had perished. Are you kidding me? How can this be? You damn stones. Kurosaki raised his sword intending to use the sword skill. User lacks sufficient magic power to release Khaleesi Dragon Sword skill. The notification sound immediately left him stunned. Just as Kurosaki was still confused, the statue's attack was already coming. At this moment on the other side, Aritasara followed the magic power flow to a platform. All the magic power was being absorbed by the cube in the center. What on earth is this thing? The moment Aritasara touched it with her hand, a huge ruby heart was revealed. Could this be the giant's heart? But why is it absorbing magic power instead of releasing it? Just then, the giant's heart suddenly reacted. Seeing trouble, Aritasara immediately turned and ran. But it was still too late. A red beam shot from the heart, piercing through her waist. She fell to the ground in agony. At this time, the statue also walked over, raising its blade high, striking down with force. At this critical moment, Kurosaki used shadow movement to arrive in time, blocking the attack for Aritasara. He immediately took out a bottle of high-grade healing potion, sprinkling it on her wound, then picked her up intending to leave first. However, a notification sounded. The giant's heart has been activated, now preparing for boss battle. The door began to slowly close. Kurosaki immediately tried to activate shadow movement. User lacks sufficient magic power to activate shadow movement skill. What kind of joke is this? How did my magic power disappear? If we don't escape, we're dead. But at this rate, both of them will be trapped here. Damn it, there's no choice. Kurosaki forcefully grabbed Aritasara, throwing her toward the exit with all his might. She slid roughly across the ground. Why did you choose to save me? As long as you're alive, you can restore everything. Isn't that right? You idiot, I'm not a hunter. Where do you expect me to find such massive magic power? When she opened her eyes again, she saw Sano appear before her. It's actually this guy. He seems to be able to share magic power with others. And Sano did exactly that, continuously transmitting magic power to her. If you have enough magic power, you should be able to restore your injuries, right? Aritasara stared wide-eyed in shock at Sano. How does he know about my skill? A few minutes later, the healed Aritasara sat quietly nearby with her hands bound. As a prisoner, As Blood Tower Guild's healer, she suffered fatal injuries but recovered completely so quickly. We must thoroughly investigate her background when we return. What should we do now? We worked so hard to get here but can't even open the door. There's no choice. To open it from outside requires a key, meaning we'll be trapped here forever. Is this why so many people went missing? Sano nearby was actually still struggling. What should I do? I've actually copied that key. But how do I explain it? I guess I'll just make up some reason. Sano then took out the key. But just then, Aries stepped forward and gently touched the door with her hand. Unexpectedly, her arm passed right through. Both the entire door and Aries' robe lit up with the same runes. The next second, the door opened just like that. It turns out this robe belonged to Aries' mother. It seems to resonate with the door, thus opening it. Sano nearby, hearing their conversation, thought, Aries is indeed the key to this maze. If I get the chance, I must investigate this multi-dimensional maze with her. According to Arita Sara's intel, everyone quickly discovered their magic power was rapidly draining away. The magic power was being continuously absorbed by the heart. At that moment, the statues from before appeared again. Sano immediately began casting CTRL plus E, copy magic power, CTRL plus 5, paste magic power, then continuously using CTRL plus 5th infinite paste. Suddenly, countless skill dialog boxes filled the entire area. Terrifying magic power erupted from around Sano's body, quickly filling the entire room. Even the giant heart's absorption speed couldn't keep up with the magic power generation rate. Arita Sara watched this scene in disbelief. If I could combine my skill with his skill, then I could restore my parents to normal. Nanase, having recovered his magic power, immediately charged toward the statue. With one strike, he cut it in half at the waist. Shirazaki wasn't to be outdone either, raising his staff to release dark magic. Dark lightning instantly destroyed the nearest statue. At that moment, more statues surrounded them. Shirazaki became even more excited seeing this. Let me use you guys to vent my terrible mood from this period. He then unleashed a massive dark magic spell, instantly destroying the statues completely. At this time, Arita Sara spotted Kurosaki's figure. He was sitting on the ground covered in wounds, barely clinging to life. Just as Arita Sara was about to step forward to help, Sano got there first. Didn't expect you'd end up here. He then picked up the Kalesia Dragon sword from the ground, finally got it back, and sure enough, its durability has been fully restored. How can I copy his skill? Sano decided to first try copying Kurosaki's shadow movement. Copy failed, target's level is higher than yours. Just as Sano was about to give up, a prompt box appeared. Target has strong hostility toward you. In this situation, you have two ways to obtain the skill. 1. Kill the opponent and gain their skill. 2. Forcibly absorb the target's skill. Only possible when target's HP is below 15%. After absorption, target will lose this skill. So skills can be absorbed this way too. With his current condition, I can forcibly absorb it. After a while, Kurosaki also walked over. You're a healer, right? Heal this guy up, we have very important questions to ask him. He then released Arita Sara's restraints. As the skill activated, Kurosaki's severed arm began to regenerate. The next second, he awakened. Seems my decision wasn't wrong. Immediately, Kurosaki's hands were bound again. You better behave yourself, or don't blame me for being rude. Understood, but the prerequisite is that we can leave here alive. This maze has only just begun. Just then, the giant heart on the platform once again emitted a dazzling beam of light. Seeing this, Kurosaki quickly bent down to dodge and rapidly fled. The beam shot straight toward Nanase, instantly destroying this entire area. Shinoda Satoru saw this and rushed over urgently. At that moment, the heart emitted another beam, shooting directly at Shinoda Satoru. At this critical moment, Little Stone rushed over at lightning speed. The next second, an explosion sound rang out. After the smoke cleared, a figure emerged. Shinoda Satoru was actually covered in stone armor from head to toe, which was Little Stone's transformed form. Nanase also stood behind him in a disheveled state. Looking at them in disbelief, you two merged? You actually managed to successfully level up in such a short time. No matter how many times I see it, he really looks like Master Takuchi's stone armor skill. Originally, half an hour ago, Shirazaki and Shinoda Satoru were transported to a multi-dimensional maze. With Shirazaki's powerful dark magic, they instantly eliminated the monsters before them, and even dropped a large number of rubies, which Little Stone found very appetizing. After getting Shirazaki's permission, Little Stone sat on the ground and began chewing voraciously. Just like that, Little Stone leveled up. Snow Mountain Gargoyle level 2, can grow to level 10, currently has freeform change LV2, can share senses with Master LV2. Little Stone, you're amazing. You actually leveled up. Back to the present, the giant heart's attacks became increasingly fierce, until even Shirazaki's protective barrier was broken through. These beams are formed by high-density magic power. Ordinary defensive magic cannot withstand them. Just then, the furious Nanase stepped forward. Facing the beam about to hit him, he showed no fear, directly swinging his sword to split the beam apart. Since the beam's density is very high, it can also be split with a sword. But this way, we still can't get close. Since I can generate magic power infinitely, the giant heart will continuously absorb it and fire beams. But if I stop generating magic power, our magic will quickly be drained, making this a dead end. Only one way left. Let me try my newly acquired skill, Shadow Movement. Using its ability to move through spider silk shadows, if I combine the two skills. CTRL plus 5. Activate Giant King Spider Silk. Sano surrounded himself with spider silk, instantly disappeared from his original position, leaving only some spider silk behind. Maul beside him was momentarily confused. Where did he go? A human-shaped shadow appeared behind the giant heart. Sano emerged from the shadow, immediately placing his hand on the giant heart, planning to shatter it using inherent vibration. However, he underestimated its intelligence. The heart used magic power to create an explosion, instantly blasting Sano until he coughed up blood. Who do you think you are? That's the magic power I gave you, you know. CTRL 5. Use Giant King Spider Silk. Immediately massive amounts of spider silk formed, continuously wrapping around the giant heart, until it was wrapped into a huge cylinder. Just when everyone thought they had succeeded, beams shot out from within again. It's not over yet. CTRL 5. Giant King Spider Silk Super Double. Several beams brushed past Sano. This time I must touch it. At the moment of contact, he wrapped it up again. CTRL 5. Use Skill Inherent Vibration. Use resonance to destroy the target. As the giant heart shattered, a brilliant light shone forth. You have destroyed the giant's heart. Maze conquest successful. The next second, countless level-up notification boxes appeared before his eyes. Sano looked at the notification boxes with great joy. Congratulations, you have obtained this conquest reward. Giant's Heart, Level 1, Upgradable, Skill 1, can generate magic power infinitely. Skill 2, can absorb or store a certain amount of magic power. This is a continuously upgradable skill. Seeing this description, Sano suddenly felt this seemed useless to him. CTRL plus C is upgraded, can automatically copy copyable objects, can auto-copy. This is simply amazing. Sano-senpai, you're absolutely incredible. Don't get close to me, I don't like men. At this time, Shirazaki walked over seriously. Congratulations on obtaining the giant's heart. After we return, I'd like to have a talk with you. If you want the giant's heart, I can sell it to you at a high price. Hearing this, Shirazaki became extremely excited. After some rest and reorganization, Sano took the Kalizia dragon sword and returned it to Ares. At this moment, Maul suddenly stepped forward and asked, "Did you just use the Blood Tower Guild's advanced skill?" "Indeed. You suddenly moved a great distance just now." Sano broke out in a cold sweat and could only make up an excuse. "I used spider silk to quickly pull myself over." Maul was about to say more, but was interrupted by Nanace. Asking about someone's skills is very rude. Let's go. We still need to hurry back to investigate these two people. Kurosaki, walking ahead, said quietly to Aritasara, "It's time for you to repay the life-saving debt you owe me. Now go restart the maze." "Are you sure? This is the last time. Is it because of that magic power kid? But if you forget the contract, I'll have a headache." Contract, Adam's Oath. A permanent binding that makes you never able to betray your partner. As long as you have this, you can never leave me. Remember, your parents are in my hands. I used my own life to save you back then, now it's your turn to repay me. This place should have enough magic power. Start now. The next second, magic power began gathering around Aritasara's body. She then activated the skill CTRL+. Seeing this scene, Sano immediately turned around and shouted for everyone to leave quickly. The maze is about to be reset. After speaking, he used Shadow Movement, instantly, arriving beside Aritasara, wanting to try if he could stop it. "Why are you doing this?" "I'm sorry." As the magic power activated, the entire maze began undergoing earth-shaking changes. Shirazaki and Ares immediately deployed protective barriers to shield everyone, racing toward the exit. Just as the maze was about to close, they successfully escaped, successfully reaching above the city outside the maze. At this moment, the maze exit also completely closed. Shinoda Satoru anxiously shouted, "They're still inside!" Meanwhile, inside the maze, it seemed not to have completely returned to its initial state. Kurosaki had already freed himself from his restraints, holding his sword as he slowly approached. "What's going on?" "The maze didn't completely reset. This guy pulled me out while I was activating the skill, so the reset was cancelled halfway through. I see, it doesn't matter anyway. The others are all gone. As long as I can get the giant's heart, everything will be fine." Sano looked angrily at his opponent, then planned to use the Giant King Spider's skill. However, the next second, Sano looked in disbelief at the dialogue box that appeared. "Cannot find object. What does this mean?" "It's useless, because what was reset wasn't just the maze but you too." Hearing this, Sano immediately brought up his information panel. Sano, Level 1, Skill Proficiency LV 1%. Both CTRL+C and CTRL+V have returned to their initialized state. "Wait, what's this? Unconfirmed object has been copied. Can be pasted." The next second, a sword light flashed. Blood splattered. Kurosaki directly slashed Sano, severely wounding him. "Goodbye, little brat." He then swung his sword down. Just then, another sword blocked Kurosaki's attack. It was actually Maul, who had also been left in the maze. However, Maul didn't seem to be a match for Kurosaki. Kurosaki smiled evilly. After several rounds of fighting, Maul was quickly defeated, kicked hard by Kurosaki and sent flying. Kurosaki rushed forward quickly, Just as Kurosaki was about to deliver a fatal blow to Maul, Sano used his own body to take the hit for him, falling heavily to the ground. Maul looked at Sano in disbelief. Why? He's my prey. I don't need your help, so get out of here quickly. However, before he could finish speaking, he was sliced in half from behind by Kurosaki. Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. Sano just died like that. I knew only this guy himself was reset. The things on him are still there. I'm now the only person you can rely on. Don't look at me with that expression. The reason he's like this is because you restored him to his initial state. I'm sure he'll thank you in the next life. The next second, a sword light flashed. Kurosaki's wrist was severed. He then let out a painful scream. Sano appeared unharmed in front of Kurosaki. I'm back again. Turns out the copy of myself wasn't restored. At the moment of death, the skill automatically activated. CTRL +5. Paste myself. Everyone looked at all this in disbelief. What's going on? I clearly cut him in half with my own hands. What kind of skill is this? You bastard. What exactly are you? CTRL +5 Giant King Spider Silk instantly wrapped around Kurosaki, just as Kurosaki was about to use shadow movement to break free. This skill has been removed and cannot be used. Kurosaki stared wide-eyed at the prompt in the dialogue box. Too many incredible things are happening before my eyes. Sarah, do it again. Restart once more. However, Arita Sarah no longer wanted to continue being an accomplice. Have you forgotten about our contract? Move quickly if you don't want to die. At this time, the contract bracelet on Arita Sarah's hand emitted several electric currents, as if she would lose her life if she didn't act. Sano also noticed this change. So this is the reason you're bound? A contract bracelet. With a single step. Sano immediately came to Arita Sarah's side. Grabbing her wrist, CTRL +E used skill inherent vibration. The next second, the contract bracelet was shattered. The shackles in Arita Sarah's heart seemed to be broken along with it. From now on, she was completely free from this man. Now you can't command anyone. Go to hell in despair. The next second, he used shadow movement skill to instantly appear in front of Kurosaki. Today I'll use your own skill to kill you. Kurosaki immediately went offline. Sano picked up the giant's heart from the ground. How many people did you kill for this thing? Scum like you has no right to possess these. He then used his skill to crush the giant's heart to powder. You have destroyed a high-level maze reward item. Congratulations, you have obtained a unique treasure. In the Japan Hunter Association building, a group of people were discussing this maze incident. The Gargoyle Snow Mountain Maze was actually a multi-dimensional maze. The precursor to the Great Disaster 15 years ago was the explosion of multi-dimensional mazes. Didn't expect them to appear again now. And the seal on the Western Hunter has also been lifted. We must take this seriously. However, the 7 hunters weren't interested in this, wanting to leave here as soon as possible. We must quickly investigate the Blood Tower Guild members. Multi-dimensional mazes are currently an unsolvable problem. This action angered Takushi Suna. How impressive. Do you think we did nothing while you were away? He then stood up and walked towards Sano. I heard you conquered the maze. If you have such ability, then why have I never heard of you? Tell me, who exactly are you? I'm just a hunter. What are you planning to do? We not only conquered the maze, but also discovered a very dangerous multi-dimensional maze. Although it's not some great achievement worthy of praise, it doesn't deserve such treatment either. Right? Master Takushi Suna? You're interesting. Knowing my identity and still daring to speak to me in this tone, he instantly activated the stone armor skill. The ordinary people around immediately panicked. Fortunately, the Hunter Association president was there to calm this disturbance. Takushi Suna reluctantly left the meeting room. The scene shifted to the Hunter Association president's office. I was once also a member of the Great Sage Guild, but for certain reasons I've already left. I represent all hunters in thanking you for your contribution this time. Being recognized by President Tomiwa made Sano very happy. Ares beside him expressed that he planned to return to the International Hunter Association to report this matter. While Maul planned to stay here for a while, I planned to quit the International Hunter Association. That night at Sano's home, everyone had gathered together. What are you all doing at my house so late? I'm no longer a member of the International Hunter Association now. I have nowhere to stay, so I can only borrow a place at yours for a while. Maul, why are you doing this? I'm very sorry, but I can't tell you. I came to play with Sano-senpai. I'm only here to convey Arita Sara's request. Don't lump me in with them. Because Arita Sara refused to use her skill to heal Kurosaki, Kurosaki is still in a coma. Once she wakes up, she'll be transferred to prison for interrogation. Arita Sara is currently being held in the Hunter Association's interrogation room. She's maintained complete silence. Her only request is to meet with you. By the way, Arita Sara is also a member of an idol girl group. I think she was forced into it. I destroyed her contract bracelet, so I think she won't have any relationship with Kurosaki anymore. I'll go to the association to see her later. By the way, Master Shirozaki, why are you also in my room? I'm here for only one reason. However, at this moment, Maul beside him interrupted. If you want the giant's heart, don't even think about it. Hunter Sano already destroyed it in the maze. This statement shocked everyone. Are you crazy? Why would you destroy such a rare item? However, the next second, the giant's heart suddenly appeared in Sano's hand. What I destroyed in the maze was actually fake. He thought to himself, that was just a copy, though there's no real difference from the real one. Maul looked in disbelief at the heart in Sano's hand. That's impossible. I can confirm that what was destroyed at the time was the real heart. Shirazaki and Nanase both offered astronomical prices to obtain the giant's heart. Finally, after Shirazaki offered the astronomical price of $20 billion, it ended. Late at night, Sano was happily thinking about his 20 billion that had yet to arrive. If I use my skill to copy a bunch of giant hearts and auction them on the overseas black market, wouldn't I become instantly rich? Thinking this, he became extremely excited. This harvest is too great. My level has already reached over 300, and I also obtained a unique reward. This item is currently in a sealed state and can be unsealed by injecting magic power. Sano was very curious and immediately injected a large amount of magic power. Suddenly a triangular item appeared. Dimensional Fragment, 1/5. If you collect all dimensional fragments, you can successfully synthesize a dimensional key to open the door to any dimension. These fragments have the ability to attract each other. The number and level of dimensions that can be opened depends on their grade. Sano looked at this item with confusion. This thing seems useless right now, and it can't be copied. Where am I supposed to collect the other fragments? Just then, Mal walked in. There's something I want to confirm with you. He then drew his long sword. Seeing this, Sano immediately panicked. What are you doing? However, Mal didn't answer. He raised his sword to stab. Stabbing toward the heart, blood spurted out. 15 years ago, during the Great Disaster in Europe, a terrifying giant beast rampaged through the city. Lower Horn Dragon, level 500 plus. Their abilities are equivalent to higher Horn Dragons. This monster is fire attribute. Mages should use ice attribute magic to attack it. A mage flew forward. After several flips and dodges, he reached behind the Lower Horn Dragon. Raising his magic circle, he immediately cast ice magic. However, several ice spikes were blocked by the Lower Horn Dragon's wings, having no effect. Instead, he was pushed back several meters by the opponent's impact. Damn it, where did this super-class monster come from? We're no match for it at all. The Lower Horn Dragon opened its mouth wide and breathed out massive flames. The scorching flames engulfed the nearest hunters. Soon, the massive flames caused huge explosions throughout the city. The hunters watching from afar were so scared they turned and ran. At that time, the entire city was like being plunged into hell. As a newly awakened rookie hunter, I felt I was doomed. Just then, that man appeared before me, suddenly giving hope to my despairing heart. The world's greatest hunter, Frederick Shu. Thank you for saving me. However, the next second, Frederick was swallowed whole by the Lower Horn Dragon. Only half his body remained standing there. I was scared pale and sat limply on the ground. Just then, the Lower Horn Dragon seemed to undergo a mutation. Painful roars echoed across heaven and earth. Then its entire body began to swell, until finally its whole body exploded massively. The huge blast wave swept over. At this moment, that man appeared again, once more standing in front of me. I was shocked. You're actually fine. I clearly saw it with my own eyes just now. When I looked at where the corpse had been, only some black charcoal remained, scattering in the wind. Frederick, didn't I tell you not to use that move in front of outsiders? Only then did I realize there was a female mage standing behind me. She was the one who had saved me from the explosion. It was an emergency. After all, this was the fastest way to defeat that monster. The Lower Horn Dragon's scales are incredibly hard. Normal attacks have no effect on it. If we let it be, this country would be destroyed. You saw it, right? I hope you can help me keep this secret. Gradually, hunters began approaching this area. Seeing this, Frederick turned to leave. Goodbye. I hope when we meet again, you'll have grown into a great hunter. I hurried forward and introduced myself. I'm Mal Grant, from the Grant family. I'm a recently awakened hunter. Please remember me. I'll remember you, Mal Grant. A hunter with a skill that transcends death. The world's greatest hunter, Frederick Shu. However, what I didn't expect was that after his disappearance, I would meet someone with the same skill. I know this is rash, but I want to personally verify whether my guess is correct. Raising his hand, he swung the blade, stabbing toward Sano. At the moment of Sano's death, CTRL +5 paced himself. The original corpse turned to ash and scattered. Sano revived and appeared behind Mal. Why did you kill me? Mal breathed a sigh of relief, proving his guess was correct. I'm very sorry, but no matter what, I wanted to see this skill with my own eyes. Weren't you afraid your guess was wrong? What if I really died? At this moment, Shinoda Satoru appeared at the door, witnessing this scene. Why are you still here? This is getting more and more troublesome. After some explanation and apology, Mal decided to serve at Sano's side as compensation. So there really is a skill for resurrection from death. Is this why Senpai is so powerful? This made Shinoda Satoru extremely excited. Let's put this aside for now. By the way, Ares, didn't you go home? How did you come back? It's because of this thing. Sano looked in surprise at the item in the other's hand. Due to the dimensional fragment's ability to attract each other, while Ares was on his way home, the fragment on him suddenly reacted. Following the fragment's guidance, he returned here. The fragment in Sano's hand is numbered 5. The fragment in Ares' hand is numbered 1. Mine is a unique reward obtained from destroying the giant's heart. And mine is my mother's relic. According to the records and the notes my mother left behind, fragments attract each other. Now it's been confirmed. This means it'll be easier to obtain other fragments in the future. By the way, what exactly is this thing for? If you collect all the fragments, you can synthesize a key to the dimensional gate, like the multi-dimensional maze we experienced this time. If you possess this key, you can move freely in multi-dimensional space. So you came to Japan not only to find your mother, but also to collect information about dimensional fragments. I believe my parents are still alive in another dimension. I think so too. I don't believe they would die so simply. That means they might currently be trapped in another dimension. Or there's a reason they can't return. If that's the case, what kind of reason would it be? It might be more terrifying than the great disaster 15 years ago. Anyway, as long as we have the dimensional key, we can close multi-dimensional mazes and prevent great disasters. But how does this thing become a key? Just then, little stone lightly touched the fragment. Instantly, the corners of the two fragments attracted together. Then they emitted a dazzling light. After the light faded, the fragments were completely joined together. So this is how they connect. And the resonance between fragments is more intense than before. At the European headquarters of the Star Stadium Guild, the elf man suddenly noticed his dimensional fragment reacting, immediately showing a sinister smile. Looks like I can finally go home. Just then, a white-haired man suddenly appeared behind him. What are you laughing about? The Blood Tower Guild guys haven't responded. Looks like the mission failed. Seeing the other person, the elf man immediately knelt down. Mr. Michael, congratulations on finally obtaining CTRL plush. This way you can move freely. You've taken another step on the path to becoming a transcendent. Currently, I can only use it for short distance movement. I need to use CTRL PLSC to make it evolve. Please rest assured this may be realized very soon. The dimensional fragments just resonated. Two of them should have connected together. This one in my hand will tell us where the other pieces are. You mean you can go home soon? By the way, doesn't your world have its own dimensional key? No, there is one. However, it's currently impossible to open the dimensional gate from the other side. 15 years ago, it was all because of that damn mage, the Western Hunter. All dimensional gates connected to Blue Star were sealed, and the multi-dimensional key on Blue Star was split into 5 pieces and sealed in different places. Once we collect these fragments and lift the seal, the dimensional gate will open again. Then we can go to my homeland, Fairyland. We will open the dimensional gate to the Sacred World Tree. There's a reward similar to CTRL Plus Gay there. If you absorb it, it will benefit you greatly. Sounds good, but is this really the same as the CTRL key? You were also very surprised when you first saw my skill. You think I don't know what you're after. Your homeland is the elves' country. Its world tree was contaminated hundreds of years ago. Now it's called the Dark Tree. Worst of all, it's now on the verge of destruction. During the Great Disaster 15 years ago, Blue Star and the Elves dimension overlapped for the first time. You elves tried to transfer the source of contamination to Blue Star, but you were stopped by the Western Hunter. What exactly do you want? Will the elves continue their failed plan to reconnect the two worlds? Are you using me to achieve your own goals? The elf man immediately broke into a cold sweat, feeling very guilty, just as he was about to make excuses. The white-haired man suddenly said, "Actually, I don't care about this at all. I just want to use you to open more multi-dimensional worlds and absorb more skills, becoming like those transcendents. I don't care what happens to this world. From now on, I'll act personally." Hearing this, the elf man immediately panicked. "You can't leave yet, Mr. Michael. You're the leader of the Star Stadium Guild. If you leave without a proper reason, you might attract some unwanted attention. I've already considered this possibility, so I've ordered Lucas to execute Plan B. Once preparations are complete, we'll have sufficient reason to let you act freely." Meanwhile, in a high-level maze called Forest of Death in Japan, Sano brought Shinoda, Satoru, and Maul here to conquer the maze. Knoll level 90, a monster that fused fairy and wolf. Although their individual combat ability is low, but they're very intelligent and usually appear in groups, making them very dangerous. Sano, isn't this a bit too many? There are only 3 of us. How could we retreat so easily? This is a great place for grinding. Sano excitedly began provoking the nearby gnolls. "What are you waiting for? Come attack me!" This immediately enraged the opponents. Shinoda Satoru was almost in tears. "Sano-senpai, what are you doing?" The next second, all the gnolls charged over. CTRL plus 5. Use Gargoyle Core to generate a gargoyle, then continuously using the skill, suddenly summoned a gargoyle army, charging toward the gnolls. Shinoda, Satoru, and Mole were amazed seeing this scene. How does Senpai have so many cores? Let's enjoy this performance. What exactly is his skill? He can actually summon so many gargoyles. Soon both sides were engaged in fierce battle. The gargoyle army charged forward like a crushing force, instantly sending a large group of gnolls flying. They look like a bunch of delinquents. My little stone must never learn from them. The battle ended quickly. Sano crouched down to pet the gargoyle. "Thank you for your hard work." Then he recalled them. Opening his system inventory to check, "I don't have enough space to create a gargoyle squad." "Forget it, don't want to think about it. It's time to go see Arita Sarah." A Mercedes G-Class was speeding down the road. "Didn't expect you to have a car." "Yeah, this is a birthday gift my dad bought me." He thought, "Almost forgot this guy's the prince of the Great Sage Guild." We'll soon reach the Hunter Association's interrogation room. Only Arita Sarah was sitting there quietly. She hasn't eaten for 3 days. No matter what we ask, she stays silent, only saying she wants to see you. "Can our conversation be kept private? I'm very sorry, given the nature of this investigation, we cannot meet your request." "Then I'll just have to try using CTRL Plus to undo it later." Sano brought a cup of water inside. "Thirsty, right? We'll talk after you drink." Arita Sarah glanced at Sano. then picked up the cup and drank it down. You want to know what my skill is exactly? It's no secret. My skill is infinite mana generation. If you can help me, I'll cooperate with your investigation. Before that, I need to confirm something. You have the ability to restore everything, called CTRL Plus, right? Yes, a cursed ability. I knew I wasn't the only one cursed. In other words, I can copy and paste her skill, which means I can copy and paste any CTRL skill in the future. The conversation inside surprised those outside. Restoration, curse, CTRL Plus. What were they talking about? Do such skills really exist? That girl's skill isn't healing, but restoration. No wonder the durability of the Talisha Dragon Sword recovered. My parents are in a coma. I need massive mana to restore them, and you're the only one who can provide such enormous mana. Please help me. Understood, I can provide however much mana you need. In exchange, I need you to... He placed his hand on her handcuffs. Everyone outside looked puzzled. What was Sano trying to do? The next second, an explosion sound rang out. CTRL Plus C. Copy target skill CTRL Plus. However, unexpectedly, the system prompted that copying was impossible. Sano was confused. Why was this? I've thought before that there might be skills that can't be copied, but I never expected to encounter one today. Damn it! Why am I so unlucky today? Arita Sara looked at her hand being gripped tightly by him, feeling bewildered. What are you doing? Only then did Sano realize, quickly letting go of her hand. Suddenly, a red dialogue box popped up. CTRL Plus C's. Special skills cannot be copied, but if you eliminate the target, you can absorb it. Meeting this condition allows you to copy the skill normally. Seeing such a cruel rule, Sano felt extremely depressed. I can't do something like killing for treasure. Is there no other way? Or maybe wait until she dies of old age and then absorb it? Everyone outside looked puzzled at what was happening inside. What was Senior Sano doing? Nanaes couldn't watch anymore and quickly asked what was going on inside. Sorry, I was just spacing out. Everything's going smoothly in here. Forget it, I'll help wake up her parents first to gain her trust. Maybe I'll find a better way soon. If not, I can still cooperate with her. That same afternoon, Hunter Center Hospital, everyone came here. They were attacked by mysterious creatures during the Great Disaster, resulting in mana poisoning. This hospital was the only one accepting mana poisoning patients. Is this why he wanted to cooperate with Kurosaki? He needed a lot of treatment fees. By the way, Kurosaki is also receiving treatment here now, right? Yes, he's in the underground facility now. Once he wakes up, he'll be taken to prison for investigation. Just then, a man brushed past Maul. Why is this guy here? This person was Lucas, who uses CTRL-PUSF. The scene shifted to Lucas arriving at the underground facility. Two guards quickly stepped forward to stop him. This is a restricted area. Entry without permission is prohibited. Lucas confidently pulled out a small card. Thank you both for your hard work. This is my permit. However, what was written on it was CTRL-PUSF. The next second, the text began to change. Countless black energy emerged from it, quickly attacking the two guards, soon engulfing them completely. After the baptism of black energy, the two guards were completely controlled, becoming mindless puppets. Lucas walked straight in, coming before Kurosaki. Then he took out a strange orb. Its surface was wrapped in purple leaves, continuously emitting black energy. Lucas, there's something only you can do. If the Blood Tower Guild fails, I want you to deploy this throughout City C. Lucas saw this thing and instinctively felt disgusted, quickly stepping back. This is a fruit brought from my homeland, a fruit from a contaminated world tree. Using this fruit as a barrier can open a subspace. You might not know what subspace is. Let me show you now. The scene before Lucas's eyes filled him with terror. The elf man's fruit had already opened. The space above was torn open, revealing a terrifying giant beast inside. Back to the present, Lucas looked at the purple fruit in his hand. That guy wants to turn the entire city into hell. Damn it, I need to save people first. They're too closely related to my family. Now's not the time to back down. In the hospital room upstairs, Arita Sara's parents had successfully recovered. Seeing this heartwarming scene, Shinoda Satoru was moved to tears. Seeing this miraculous skill, Nanae suddenly had some ideas. Is restoration really more powerful than the strongest healers? I must find a way to keep this girl in the association. By the way, where did Maul go? In the hospital corridor. Lucas had already awakened Kurosaki and brought him out. But just then, a system dialog box popped up in front of Lucas. Detected a CTRL skill user nearby. Learning this news, Kurosaki was very surprised. Could it be Sarah coming to see his parents? Don't tell me that guy is with him too. Just then, Maul appeared behind them. Lucas, it really is you. I almost didn't recognize you. And Kurosaki, you're actually awake. Sano, did you come here for Kurosaki, you lapdog of the Celebrity Stadium Guild? I heard you quit the Hunter Association. What are you doing here now? Since you're helping him escape, you're now an accomplice. He drew his weapon. I see you're as reckless as ever. Did you forget this is a hospital? Let me handle this. I'll teach him a lesson and show him he can't do anything. Just then, Sano appeared behind Maul using shadow movement. I'm here too. You bastard, that's my skill? Lucas's ability nearby gave a prompt. Discovered users of CTRL Plus E and CTRL PS5. Target is right in front. I finally found you, CTRL Plus. This is really troublesome, one thing after another. First Kurosaki. Now even an international criminal has appeared. Seeing the newcomer's weapon, both were startled. That's the witch's blade. Today really is a terrible day. I have to work overtime everywhere I go. Seeing Nanase with a weapon immediately drew onlookers. Isn't that Hunter Nanas? Why is he carrying a weapon in the hospital? Look, this is a hospital. Can't we resolve this peacefully? Nanase then took out 2 mana suppression handcuffs. If you're willing to wear these, I'd be happy to talk with you both. Seems like there's no room for communication. Kurosaki randomly grabbed a passerby nearby. Don't you understand? Everyone here is my hostage. Can we resolve this peacefully now? However, the next second, what came was Nanase's heavy kick. Kurosaki was kicked hard and sent flying, until he crashed into the wall at the end of the corridor, then spat out a large amount of blood. Seeing this scene, Lucas broke out in cold sweat. That attack was too fast, I couldn't see it clearly at all. Lucas, you should be different from Kurosaki, right? Can we resolve this peacefully? Lucas turned to look at the already unconscious Kurosaki. Should I use that thing? I want to know why you chose me. This is dark magic power, produced by the contaminated world tree. Normal people would be poisoned by dark magic power, but you're different, aren't you? You're the same as the Blood Tower Guild's leader. You mean, Kurosaki is also... Yes, he also uses dark magic power to operate his skills. Feel free to use it. Inject your dark magic power and let these contaminated world tree fruits bloom. I'm very sorry, I'm the same as Kurosaki. I can't resolve this peacefully with you. He then drew a sword from his space. I'll do whatever it takes to take him away. That sword is the prayer sword. Lucas is a member of Countrywise Holy Knight family. They have a sword passed down through generations, said to be the world's only holy sword, on the same level as the Kharizia Dragon Sword. But it doesn't increase levels or any attributes. It has a special name, Heretic Inquisitor, capable of eliminating any skill or weapon deemed heretical. Hunter Nanas, using the cursed sword witch's blade, deemed heretical. Eliminated. Sano immediately became worried and wanted to help. I'm fine, don't worry, just made a nick in the queen's blade. Now it's my turn. He raised his sword and swung. But Lucas easily dodged. Seems like the hospital limits your performance. You can't beat me without using your skills. However, the next second he was proven wrong, his tie was cut. Nanase's next wave of attacks followed immediately. One sword struck Lucas in the chest. That force was too much. The next second, Lucas was knocked back several meters, spitting out blood. That attack felt like it was going to tear me apart inside. Seems like the holy sword can't make up for the difference in our strength. Is this the power possessed by the world's 10th ranked hunter? I really don't want to use my skill in the hospital, but you're forcing me to. Just then, Kurosaki's voice came. Damn bastard. Kurosaki woke up from unconsciousness and stood up. In his hand was the contaminated world tree fruit, already in blooming state. Since you want to protect this hospital so much, I'll turn everything to nothing. He then thrust the world tree fruit into the ground. Stop it! This is a hospital. You're going to place it at key locations in City C anyway, so let me put one in the hospital too. As massive amounts of dark magic power poured out, everything around began to corrode continuously. This is dark magic power. Only those with dark skills possess it. But this amount is a bit much. At this rate, everyone in the hospital will suffer mana poisoning. Damn it! Sano immediately used shadow movement. Instantly appeared behind Kurosaki, wrapping him with spider silk. Too late, it can't be stopped. The world tree fruit was in flower form 1 second. The next second, it began to spread and grow wildly. Everyone had to dodge. Its thick branches rampaged through every corner of the hospital. In an instant, it formed a small world tree, riddling the entire hospital with holes. Ordinary people in the hospital were suddenly in crisis. Sano and the others quickly began rescue operations. Are you okay? Please evacuate here with the others as quickly as possible. Patients who could move on their own were easier to handle, but now many people couldn't move. Although we few were helping with the rescue, the entire hospital was now filled with demonic energy. At this rate, everyone would suffer mana poisoning. Now there's no other way except to restore the hospital. Thinking this, Sano immediately used shadow movement to search for Aritasara. At a rubble site, Koichi and Shinoda Satoru were rescuing ordinary people. Then Sano teleported behind him. From Shinoda Satoru, he learned that Aritasara's room was actually fine. The two came to the room, only to find the entrance blocked by thick ice walls. It turned out Ares had cast ice barrier magic to protect the room. However, it couldn't stop the penetration of demonic energy. As the ice wall shattered, Sano and the others immediately went inside. Coming before Aritasara, the entire hospital has been destroyed by the enemy using a tree, accompanied by massive demonic energy spread. The fastest solution I can think of is to use your skill to restore everything here. After hearing this, Aritasara readily agreed. With your infinite mana, everything's no problem. The scene shifted to everyone standing before the giant tree. This tree is even more massive than I imagined. Where did it come from? It was Kurosaki. He escaped and released this thing. Everyone was surprised to hear this. He knew my parents were still in the hospital, yet still did this. He doesn't care about my parents' lives at all. Then let's begin. Sano started transferring massive amounts of mana. Aritasara placed her hand on the trunk and released her skill. But at that instant, the tree seemed to sense danger. It began continuously retracting its roots. Soon all the roots that had spread throughout the hospital were retracted by the tree, forming a huge barrier blocking Aritasara's path. A giant opening appeared on the trunk. massive amounts of demonic energy poured out, attacking toward Aritasara. Seeing this, Sano became extremely anxious. He quickly ran forward. CTRL+5, giant king spider silk. The silk instantly formed a wall blocking in front of them. The next second, an explosion sound rang out. Both the silk and dark energy dissipated. Shinoda Satoru quickly stepped forward with concern. Senior Sano, are you okay? I'm fine. Sarah just fainted, but it seems the restoration failed. We must quickly evacuate everyone from here, or they'll all be poisoned. Shinoda Satoru picked up Aritasara and ran toward the hospital exit. Sano pointed at the tree and asked Aries, "Do you know what this thing actually is?" According to the notes my mother left, it might be from another world, a completely different dimension from ours. I believe this is a fruit from a contaminated world tree. The fruit's purpose is to transfer contamination from the source into this dimension. Since the world tree's main body is in another dimension, restoring it to its original state won't work. These fruits can also serve as barriers, so they'll plant them around City C. Hearing this, Sano was extremely shocked. A terrifying catastrophe is about to come. 10 minutes later, at the hospital entrance, the rescue team had evacuated a large number of casualties. Magic Hunter was trying to use purification magic to eliminate the dark demonic energy. However, no matter how much they purified, they couldn't eliminate it. Hunter Association President Fua and Takuchi Tsuyoshi also arrived. It really is a contaminated world tree from another dimension. Even seeing it with my own eyes, it's hard to believe. Nanase still bears great responsibility for this incident. I never thought Kurosaki could escape from the world-famous Hunter Nanase. If Lucas was also involved, then we'll have to demand an explanation from the International Hunter Association. Just then, the ground suddenly shook violently, and no one knew what was happening. A hunter ran anxiously toward President Fua. According to reports from the North District, the second world tree has already sprouted in the North District. Damn, Kurosaki acted so quickly again. The city suddenly had two mysterious towering trees. They continuously emitted black demonic energy that would immediately poison anyone who inhaled it. Therefore, the areas where the two giant trees stood were designated as restricted zones. Nearby personnel immediately began evacuating. The roads were packed with vehicles. According to records, these two trees came from fruits of contaminated world trees from another world. The source of the black demonic energy was the world tree from the other world. Through these two trees as mediums, black demonic energy was continuously transmitted to Blue Star. In this situation, they couldn't catch us at all now. By the way, I didn't expect you to be so ruthless, actually using black magic on ordinary people for brainwashing. People contaminated by you become puppets at your command. Hearing this, Lucas became extremely angry. Shut up! This is all because of you. Don't be angry, I'm complimenting you. They're looking for us everywhere now, but as long as I'm with you, we'll never be discovered. I'm sure they'd never think we'd be in a police car. 3 more locations. Let's hurry. Meanwhile, in the Hunter Association president's office, Sano and his group were discussing countermeasures. You're saying 2 or 3 more identical trees will appear, then surround the entire city to form some kind of barrier? Yes, at least that's what's recorded in my mother's notes. The same kind of tree appeared in the Great Disaster 15 years ago. The contaminated trees are both barriers and gates. When the time comes, large numbers of contaminated monsters will appear. Is this related to the Great Disaster from 15 years ago again? I remember at that time, our car was attacked by the roots of this tree. Father drove desperately with me trying to escape. Damn, is this the thing mentioned before? Who would use it in the city? Despite Father's best efforts to dodge, driving at maximum speed, we still couldn't avoid the tree roots attack. They pierced straight through the entire car. Thinking of this, the cursed hourglass mark on his neck suddenly emitted a faint blue light. Could this be related to my curse? Damn it. If the mastermind is the same person, I'll make them pay dearly. Now I remember, there was indeed a tree in the city at that time, but I was busy dealing with the dungeon riot and had no time to pay attention to it. It will form a barrier, serve as a gate connecting 2-dimensional worlds, and also open a subspace. I don't quite understand why they're making it so complicated. Is there something special about that subspace? It can't be a Dark Soul subspace, can it? It's said those Dark Souls need an environment filled with demonic energy, so they use contaminated trees to form a barrier for them to descend. Under current circumstances, the subspace opening is very likely. However, the worst-case scenario is that a gate to another dimensional world might also be opened. Hearing them mention subspace, Sano suddenly thought that if he could copy it into infinite space, he could solve the problem of insufficient storage space and create an unlimited army of gargoyles. Then wouldn't I be invincible? I must catch the mastermind and obtain a subspace. Then they suddenly mentioned dimensional keys, but Takuchi Tsuyoshi didn't believe such things existed. So Sano took out the 2-dimensional fragments in his hand. Takuchi Tsuyoshi couldn't believe these really existed. Is this really a dimensional key? This is just 2 fragments of the key. You need to collect all 5 to truly function. In my mother's notes, a contaminated dimensional gate was once opened in Country Y. Now that contaminated trees and dimensional fragments have appeared again, it's very likely that the outsiders from back then are acting again. They might also have dimensional fragments. Then Shirasaki suddenly said, actually, our guild also has one of these things. An hour later, everyone came to the underground vault of the future guild. This vault door is way too big. Master Shirasaki, where did you get your dimensional fragment? You didn't buy it through underground channels, did you? Don't let it be a fake and embarrass us. However, Sano was certain there was a dimensional fragment inside, because fragments resonate with each other. As the door slowly opened, the interior was soon displayed before everyone. In the vast space, only one item was placed in the center. Dimensional fragment number 4 was wrapped in a barrier. Since they didn't know what would happen when the fragments merged again, only Sano and Shirasaki entered. This decision immediately caused Takuchi Tsuyoshi's displeasure. If you accidentally open some strange dimension, I'll make you pay for it. As the door closed again, Sano and Shirasaki came before the fragment. Can't you tell me where you got this? Stop talking nonsense and let's get to work. Once you combine them, immediately enter my barrier. You don't need to be so careful. I've already merged them once before, don't worry too much. Plus, I can use movement skills to escape instantly. The moment Sano touched the fragment, the barrier surrounding it suddenly shattered. The dimensional fragment emitted dazzling light. What's happening? Then a huge explosion sound rang out. Fortunately, Sano teleported away in time, or he would have been finished. I never thought the fragment would automatically emerge from space and combine together. Just the third fragment combining could produce such power. What will happen when the fourth one comes? Meanwhile, Shirasaki, seeing the teleportation skill Sano just used, became extremely angry. Who exactly are you? I'm Sano. What's wrong with you? The next second, Shirasaki grabbed Sano's throat. How can you use the highest level forward movement skill? What are you going crazy about? Tell me, why can you use dark skills without using dark magic power? Damn it, how should I explain this? Should I reveal my secret? Sano quickly explained. I can't use dark magic power. But Shirasaki didn't believe this nonsense. He raised his staff and cast black lightning at Sano. Damn it, why can't I activate shadow movement? Wondering why you can't use your skill? That's because black lightning is the only skill that can stop shadow movement. I've been suspicious of you from the beginning. Tell me, who exactly are you? What really happened between you and Kurosaki in the Snow Mountain? Is this all part of your plan? Damn it, how should I explain this? I shouldn't have come in alone with him. No choice, I have to do this. CTRL Plus, Giant King Spider Silk. Instantly, countless silk threads emerged, completely surrounding Shirasaki, until wrapped into a ball. However, the next second, something happened inside the ball. Bang! It exploded instantly. Shirasaki reappeared in front of him. If you don't confess honestly, you'll really die here. Would he really kill me? Why is he so angry? Shirasaki had completely turned dark, planning to use his full power. Faced with this situation, Sano had only one choice. He immediately summoned the system panel, took out 2 bottles of highest quality potions. Effect, heals 95% of damage, cannot be used in combination. No effect if target is already dead. Just then, Shirasaki's attack was launched. Countless black lightning bolts headed towards Sano. Sano was extremely anxious at this moment, his health continuously dropping. CTRL plus 5, health below 25%. Activate Carisia Dragon Sword skill, Berserk mode. CTRL plus 5, equip Carisia Dragon Sword. Sano's aura instantly surged, dispelling all the surrounding black lightning. You forced me to do this. He then swung a heavy sword strike. Damn it, what happened? With a huge explosion, Shirasaki was covered in wounds, blood at the corner of his mouth. Brother, what should we call our guild? I hope it becomes the strongest in the future. How about Future Guild? I like that name. We'll definitely make it the strongest guild in the future. Brother, I'll help you become the world's strongest hunter. The world's strongest hunter. That sounds really good. 10 years ago, we never feared even facing the King of Hell, finally defeating him. However, during preparation for a dungeon raid, they discovered an unidentified person had infiltrated their team. But Shirasaki didn't care at all. This dungeon is very famous. It's normal not to recognize people who come. Besides, we have your return skill. We can escape from any danger in the dungeon. Despite this, Nanki was still very worried. At the final moment of the dungeon raid, an accident still occurred. That bandaged man attacked everyone. You bastard, what are you doing? This is dark magic addiction toxin. When exposed to air, people's consciousness will slowly be contaminated. Soon they'll turn into low-level monsters. Even worse than ghouls. Give me the antidote quickly or I'll kill you. You should have obtained the final reward from raiding this dungeon, the shadow movement skill. Give it to me and I'll tell you how to save your brother. And without dark magic power, that skill can't be used. Having no choice, Shirasaki had to give the skill to him. The ancestral sword glory from the Cooper family of Country Y. This is the only way to keep you from being poisoned. What? You won't give me the antidote? You bastard. There's no antidote for black magic addiction. By the way, this dungeon is a moving dungeon. Once successfully raided, the dungeon will move and this place will collapse. You bastard, you never intended to let us go from the beginning. Goodbye, little guy. As the bandaged man left, the dungeon began to collapse. This is something I found in the boss room earlier. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not ordinary. Brother, I can't continue walking with you. No! As Nanki's return skill activated. The next second, Shirasaki was alone back in the guild office. Shirasaki was grief-stricken. He shouted to the sky. Back to the present. In the 10+ years since then, I've searched every dungeon. I never found that moving dungeon. Although I know the chances of my brother still being alive are low, but even if it's just his remains, I must bring him back. No wonder he's called the Dungeon Otaku. Just now, thanks to the Carissia Dragon Sword's effect. This is also why I studied dark magic power and dark skills. I don't care about the International Hunter Association's rules. Most dark skills should have been destroyed. Shadow movement is an even rarer skill. Now probably only that bandaged man can use it. So you wanted to ask how Kurosaki and I learned it? Fine, I'll tell you. No need. You just use the Carissia Dragon Sword, right? I don't think Ares would give it to you. I roughly know your skill. Similar to theft, right? Like the sword, you stole the shadow movement skill. I'm very sorry for misunderstanding you. So you're just someone who uses thief skills. If you're going to apologize, can you remove the word thief? When the dimensional key collection is complete, I want to join you. At this moment, on the other side, Kurosaki had planted another contaminated world tree. After resolving the misunderstanding, Sano and Shirosaki walked out of the treasury. Everyone was curious about what happened inside, but Sano made up a random excuse. I just got news. The third contaminated world tree has appeared. Based on the third world tree's location, we can predict Kurosaki's next move. Before that, we need to gather hunters near Ginza. From the barrier's size and location, I predict the subspace will appear in Ginza. If we can stop him before the fourth world tree appears, we should be fine. I need to go back to the association to gather hunters. Do you two want to come? No need. We still have things to prepare. Thus, everyone split up to act separately. At this moment, somewhere in Europe, Michael Sama and his guild members were holding a secret meeting. We just received a support request from Country H. Obviously, they've also notified Country M. The time has come. The subspace will open normally, right? Of course, the subspace opening is inevitable. It's packed with goblin and half-orc monsters. Just goblins and half-orc monsters? Are you underestimating Country H's hunters? Don't worry, everything is according to plan. Don't underestimate them. Once the subspace opens in City C, there will be a huge debuff. We must succeed this time. That's for sure. The ferryman then left. In the White House in Country M. Has that thing really appeared in Country H? Yes, it first appeared in Country Y 15 years ago. They come from the same dimension as the Dark Soul subspace. This is also dangerous for us. If a passage between the two worlds opens directly, we're finished. I heard the International Hunter Association directly sent people to support. Just then, the secretary nearby received a phone call. Commander, there's a video call from the Hunter Association. After getting approval, the TV was immediately turned on. Mr. Commander, we've encountered big trouble. Things might get out of control. According to reports, Rattlesnake Guild's plane is flying toward Country H. What? You mean Turner is going to? Turner has most of the guild's equipment. He's like a nuclear bomb that could explode at any time. I hope he doesn't act recklessly. This is no longer just Country H's problem. Select the best group of hunters and send them there for support. The scene returned to the third contaminated world tree. Lucas stood far away on a rooftop, watching it all. Just like Kurosaki said, I'm now the same as him. Although it's to protect my family, all of this is because of me. It all started the day I gained the skills CTRL plus F. Various information from the media, filled with people's resentment and hope, instantly flooded my mind. I could even feel the consciousness and death of monsters. For a week, I nearly lost consciousness and couldn't do anything. Finally, I tried to kill myself to stop the curse of CTRL plus F. But ironically, it was then that I found the way to break the curse. Our family had a treasured heirloom, the Angel Sword, a holy blade. As long as I held it, the curse of CTRL plus would be suppressed. Later, I gradually began to adapt to the curse's power. Until that incident happened, a gate to another dimension opened in Country Y. The Western hunters came to our home wanting to borrow the holy sword. To protect me, Father firmly refused. As a result, Country Y suffered tremendous losses, and the Cooper family lost its status and power. I began researching the curse's power. When I tried every method, I discovered that only dark magic could CTRL this curse. If I let my guard down, I'd easily lose CTRL. That's why I always kept the holy sword by my side. Finally, I met them. Thanks to them, my family was able to rise again. But the price was steep. Michael Sama threatened me to use CTRL plus F to help him find all the cursed ones. Once found, he would kill them and steal their cursed power. I used the excuse of protecting my family for too long. I'm just afraid of death. I'm a coward. Now that we know who has CTRL+, if this curse falls into Michael Sama's hands, who knows what will happen. I want to see for myself. So Lucas sealed away the holy sword. Instantly, the cursed power erupted. Lucas's consciousness came to a mysterious space, as the curse's ability activated. Following the previous clues, continuously searching. Found your location, CTRL+. At 10,000 meters above, a plane was flying toward the island nation. And sitting in the plane was Turner, the world's #1 hunter. Boss, if we want to go to the island nation, why do we have to take a plane so troublesomely? Richard, did you forget our guild's motto? Of course I haven't forgotten. Once you let your guard down, danger will suddenly strike. I understand what you mean. I'll be more careful next time. In the great disaster 15 years ago, I was already an A-rank hunter. Yet I almost died, and in the end, it was the Western hunters who saved me. Not long after, A transcendent being from another dimension granted me a skill. Soon I became the world's #1 hunter with that skill. And after that disaster ended, Scion entrusted this to me for safekeeping. Turner held a multi-dimensional fragment numbered 2, glowing with golden light. This is the first time in 15 years it's resonated. What exactly is happening in the island nation? I must uncover the truth behind all this. Meanwhile, above Ginza in the island nation, the demonic energy grew increasingly dense. Hunters were all rushing here. The pollution concentration was highest here, and the subspace would definitely open here. The Great Sage Guild was responsible for the World Tree at the hospital. Guildmaster Shinoda Shiro used magic circles to CTRL the dark energy here. Guildmaster Takuchi sent his guild members to support various areas. He sat alone in central Ginza, waiting for the subspace to open. The other smaller guilds were responsible for evacuating civilians. By the way, where did Hunter Sano go? He said he had some things to handle first. The scene shifts to a shopping mall in Ginza. Sano's group was each carrying several bags. Even Little Stone was carrying a backpack. Just then, Lucas arrived carrying his sword. How did you know we were here? I don't want to waste words with you right now. I'm here for Hunter Sano. Seeing the holy sword in his hand, Sano remembered the story Shirasaki had told him. If I could copy this sword, maybe I could purify that filthy dark energy. Thinking this, Sano immediately vanished. The next second, he appeared behind Lucas. Just as he was about to touch the holy sword, Lucas noticed. He immediately pulled back. Don't do such strange things. I already know all your skills, including your copying skill CTRL+. These words shocked Sano. How did he know my secret? However, Sano still pretended not to know what he meant. Pretending ignorance is useless. My family and I are risking our lives for this. Just as the attack was about to hit Sano, Sano immediately used his shadow movement skill. He appeared behind Lucas. However, Lucas's holy sword was the natural enemy of dark skills. Lucas immediately activated his skill. The holy sword began to emit brilliant light. This is bad, I can't use shadow movement. This is the holy sword's ability. The sword's light can purify darkness within a 10-meter radius. Now let's see where you run. This is getting troublesome. Should I use the Kalisha Dragon Sword? Do you know? I've been looking for you for a long time. I want to know how you CTRL the CTRLP Ileski skill. I understand now. You're also one of the cursed. You plan to kill me and steal my skill. You're just like that Kurosaki. These words instantly enraged Lucas, who immediately charged with his sword. I was also caught off guard by this sudden attack and was pierced by the sword. Lucas couldn't believe it went so smoothly. However, this was all intentional by Sano. Finally touched the holy sword. CTRL+, holy sword merging with user. Sano successfully copied the holy sword and immediately pulled out a high-grade healing potion. The moment he drank it, his wound healed. Only then did Lucas realize the opponent intentionally let himself be stabbed to copy the holy sword. I'll ask you one last time. What do you plan to do with CTRL+C? Do you even need to ask? Of course, to become the world's strongest hunter, an existence even stronger than the transcendent ones. However, Lucas wasn't satisfied with this answer and attacked Sano again. We don't have much time. Didn't you hear when you got the curse? Now there are only 5 years left until the great disaster. Lucas indeed didn't know. When he received the curse, he received too much information all at once and couldn't filter it. So this hourglass mark is a countdown. Just then, strange sounds came from the sky. Is it starting now? The dark subspace from another dimension is about to open. When the subspace opens, it will designate a contaminated area. In that area, all hunters' HP and MP will decrease by 30%, and the use of ordinary magic skills will be restricted. If this subspace fully opens, this city will become a living hell. The elf's mission is complete now. Should I go back to report? Just then, countless black lightning bolts struck toward Kurosaki. Shirasaki arrived with Ares. You can't leave because you're about to die here. Too bad you're too late. The subspace opening can't be stopped. This city is finished. That's fine. My target is you. Besides, the subspace's negative effects don't affect me. You think you're the only one unaffected by negative debuffs? With that, Kurosaki pulled out a long sword from space. Let me show you what real dark magic looks like. The scene shifts to the Hunter Association. All hunters receive the system notification about the subspace opening. I've never seen such ridiculous debuffs. Restricting magic skills. How are we mages supposed to fight? Several mages tried casting spells, and indeed none could activate. A massive tornado erupted from the city center. Then a huge spatial rift appeared before everyone. The next second, a figure walked out of the spatial rift. The newcomer was the mastermind behind all this. Looks like everyone's here. The show is about to begin. The hunters below were puzzled. What's going on? Such a large subspace and only one elf came out? Wait, everyone looked below. Countless monsters emerged from the subspace. Seeing their numbers, everyone panicked. Are you kidding? Can we handle these numbers? I've been patient for 15 years. Everyone vent to your heart's content. Instantly, all the monsters began charging. Greeting them was a bald man. Think you can win with numbers? You underestimate us. With that, Takuchi activated his stone armor. He threw heavy punches at the approaching monsters. I don't need magic to activate my stone armor. Dealing with them one by one is too troublesome. Come at me together. Takuchi's provocation instantly enraged the monsters before him. However, the next second they were torn apart by powerful force. Master Takuchi is so strong. Let's go help too. The two armies clashed together. Hunter Nanase also rushed to the scene. She joined the battle. On President Fuwa's side, monsters were actually coming to him. Just as they were about to attack the Guildmaster, President Fuwa pulled out a giant shield and blocked it. The monsters' attacks were all blocked by the giant shield. Then he raised the giant shield and swung it down. He directly cut the monster in front of him in half. The attack's power even cleaved the monsters behind it. This giant shield was like a sword. Even without using any skills, it was powerful enough. These giant monsters were easy for President Fuwa and Master Takuchi to handle, but for other hunters it was still too difficult, and there were too many enemies. If this continued, everyone would be in danger. At this moment, Nanase was already targeted by monsters. A giant bird dove down, but Nanase dodged in time. Boss Griffin, level 150, likes to ambush enemies. This is actually a boss-level monster. Are we seeing this level of monsters so soon? The Griffin itself isn't scary, but the flames it breathes are the real danger. It won't extinguish until it completely burns its target to ash. Now our recovery skills are sealed. If anyone gets hit by its flames, they're finished. I must stop it before it breathes fire. However, the next second, terrifying flames shot from the Griffin's mouth, heading straight for Hunter Nanase. This is bad. I'll be engulfed by the flames. Just then, a figure flashed in front of her. The next second, massive flames engulfed both of them. Within the flames, President Fuwa held up his giant shield, splitting the flames in two. Hunter Nanase, this guy is yours. Cut off its head. You must stop it from breathing more flames. After receiving the command, Hunter Nanase immediately charged toward the monster. The Griffin saw this and breathed flames again, surrounding the area completely. However, this alone couldn't stop Nanase. Nanase leaped high. She swung down heavily at the Griffin's head, but it unexpectedly dodged. Then it raised its giant claw to stomp down. Nanase quickly raised her witch's blade to block. Damn, I didn't expect this giant bird to be so agile. Just then, the Griffon suddenly sensed danger. It immediately flew into the sky to avoid the attack. It was President Fuwa attacking again. I think I made things worse. Now that it's in the air, it's even more troublesome to deal with. The Griffin could breathe flames even from high in the sky. Nanase, stay behind me. However, Nanase advanced instead of retreating. Guildmaster, cover me. I can definitely take that guy down. President Fuwa smiled slightly. Then he threw the giant shield with force. Nanase used the shield in midair to jump again. She landed on the Griffin's back. She raised the witch's blade and swung it down hard. The next second, the Griffin's head was severed. It crashed heavily to the ground. But then they discovered the Griffin's corpse was continuously leaking dark magic. We finally defeated a boss-level monster, but it's making the dark magic even denser. It seems the higher the monster's level, the more magic it releases after death. On the battlefield, since hunters couldn't use their skills, they were being pushed back by the monsters. We can't continue like this. Bring out your trump cards. A mage pulled out a magic scroll, and a magic circle appeared from it. The powerful force instantly cut the monsters to pieces. However, magic scrolls were one-time items that disappeared immediately after use. Well done. That power was incredible. Don't celebrate too early. I don't have many magic scrolls left. Just then, a red-clothed hunter behind them suddenly coughed blood, writhing in pain. Ikanaga wanted to help, but the next second, he too painfully coughed blood. What's happening? It's contamination. The more monsters we kill, the more dark magic leaks from their corpses. Now we're suffering from magic poisoning. Too bad you only realize this now. It's too late. Every monster in this dark subspace has been infused with a dark aura. When they die, they release contaminated magic. You thought killing them would make you safe, but their deaths will ultimately kill you. Enjoy yourselves. There are countless monsters still inside this subspace. Ikanaga looked at this scene in despair. Is the island nation finished? Just then, a familiar voice came from behind. Stand up. It's not over yet. This is just the beginning. Sano's group arrived at the battlefield carrying large and small bags. Ikanaga was surprised to see Sano here. As he was about to ask repeatedly, Sano quickly handed him a healing potion. Drink this first. Don't worry. Leave everything to us from now on. Ikanaga couldn't believe it. Is this still the Sano I know? Sano opened his system panel. First, let me deal with this terrible debuff. CTRL plus E magic infinite copy. The next second, countless magic emanated from around me. Hunters charged with magic suddenly found they could use their skills again. President Fuwa also noticed the changes around him. Although the subspace's debuff hadn't disappeared, this continuous magic supply allowed hunters to barely use their skills. This large-scale magic output is incredible. The Elfman was shocked by this massive magic power, using vast amounts of magic to offset the subspace's debuff. How is this possible? Could it be CTRL+? However, the monster's huge numbers couldn't be compensated for so quickly. Sano's team continued carrying bags deeper into the front lines. Just then, a group of giant monsters appeared before everyone. Are we too close? Don't worry, take out what's in the bags. The others immediately opened their bags. Countless round balls rolled out. Nearby hunters looked puzzled. What are they doing? Go, my minions, take them all down. The round balls that had just scattered on the ground suddenly transformed into small gargoyles. They charged toward the monsters. However, the first few were smashed by the monsters' punches. Damn, even with so many gargoyles, it's not working? But then a group of small gargoyles climbed up the monster's arm. They attacked at various points. They directly took it down. So, even ants can kill an elephant if there are enough of them. Just like that, thanks to the gargoyles' help. Defeating these giant beasts became much easier. Soon my gargoyles evolved. Level 3, Skill 1, can create puppets based on your image. Previously created puppets can be recreated. Skill 2, Puppet Armor, can transform into stone armor covering the whole body. Skill 3, share sensory vision and hearing with created puppets. Effective range is functional. Skill 4, can give puppets specific commands. Seeing this information, I was extremely excited. I immediately commanded all gargoyles to gather together. They began to transform and merge. Come forth, my combined beast. A massive stone dragon rose from the ground. It flapped its wings and flew directly into the sky. Other hunters watched this scene in disbelief. Am I seeing things? The gargoyles actually became a flying dragon. Other dragons in the sky immediately noticed the stone dragon. They breathed massive flames at the stone dragon. In an instant, the stone dragon was surrounded by fire. It immediately lost its fighting ability. Seeing this, the dragons quickly flew toward the stone dragon. They struck the stone dragon's head directly. It crashed heavily to the ground, instantly shattering into countless pieces. Just as others felt sorry for it, the pieces transformed into small stone dragons. They assembled together and attacked the dragon in the sky. The dragon in the sky saw this. It breathed scorching flames again. The moment the small stone dragons were engulfed by flames, their bodies began spinning rapidly, isolating all the flames. The next second, all the small stone dragons burst out from the flames. They instantly pierced through the dragon. The small stone dragon's speed didn't decrease at all. Soon, they had dealt with all the dragons in the sky. This massive amount of experience made me level up several times instantly. Surrounding hunters watched this scene in shock. Now we can focus on the monsters on the ground. Activate auto hunt mode. Lucas beside them looked at the pile of dragon remains on the ground in shock. Is this the true power of CTRL+? It feels like it's exceeded the curse's power. Has the curse been purified? Just then, Sano appeared behind Lucas, wanting to ask who opened the subspace. However, Lucas couldn't risk his family and refused to betray them, no matter what. Let me tell you, the real chaos hasn't even begun. Just then, the ground beneath them began to crumble. Countless vines erupted from the ground. Sano was instantly wrapped up in them. Lucas was lucky to dodge. However, the vines weren't giving up and attacked Lucas again. After he dodged again, he immediately drew his holy sword, planning to purify this. But unexpectedly, his hands and feet were bound. Then his entire body was swallowed. The whole area was covered by vines. Damn, what are these vines? And they keep moving. Someone must be trolling them. Looking up, he saw an elf man floating in the air. Why would an elf appear in our dimension? Master Shirasaki pursued all the way here, but found his black lightning couldn't harm him. Don't you understand? I've already overcome the corruption of dark magic. Like this, he attacked Master Shirasaki. When the black magic at the sword tip touched the shield was instantly dissolved. It shattered completely. Even though Shirasaki dodged backward immediately, a wound was still carved on his face. Not everyone can do that. The dark magic around him grew even denser. How did he manage to use such massive magic? I suspect my black lightning was absorbed by him. The next second, Kurosaki swung his sword forcefully. A massive sword energy headed toward Ares and Shirasaki. Both quickly dodged to the sides. This strike directly split the building in half. Now your mortal skills are all useless against me. Just as Kurosaki was about to attack again, Ares immediately used ice magic. He froze Kurosaki to the ground. Shirasaki was curious, has the subspace's debuff disappeared? You can use magic now. No, it's probably the effect of Sano's infinite magic. I can currently use about 50% of my power. That's enough to stall him. As Kurosaki's magic erupted, the ice blocks beneath him instantly shattered. Ares wanted to use the same trick again, but just as Kurosaki was about to be frozen again, he quickly jumped into the air and charged at them. Think you can trap me? I'm the guild master of the Blood Tower Guild. At this critical moment, Ares quickly activated a magic barrier. You might not know. My dark magic can absorb ordinary magic and become stronger. The next second, the magic barrier began to dissolve and disappear. Seeing this, Ares quickly took out a magic scroll from his pocket. He tore it in half. The magic runes inside immediately formed a new barrier. Are you struggling in your death throes? Kurosaki immediately raised his sword to stab, planning to absorb it again. The next second, the barrier instantly shattered. Fortunately, Shirasaki blocked in front of Ares in time. He released black lightning at Kurosaki. Kurosaki quickly raised his sword to block. Seeing this, Ares used ice magic again. Countless ice spikes stabbed toward Kurosaki. They instantly trapped him. Tell me, where did you get the shadow movement skill? Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. You chased me all this way just for this? Do you know? I heard some interesting things from Lucas. Then Kurosaki's magic erupted around him. A large amount of magic. quickly engulfed Shirasaki. When Shirasaki opened his eyes again, he found himself back in a cave. A man lay on the ground beneath him. That was his magic poison brother, Nanki, on the other side of the battlefield. The elf man came to Lucas. He took the holy sword from his hand. I thought it would take me a long time to get it. You approached me for the holy sword from the beginning, didn't you? No, your CTRL plus F ability is also essential. It can help me quickly find CTRL plus C. If the holy sword's power combines with CTRL plus C, I might be able to save my world. Let me tell you something. In the elf world, some elves are cursed, and I'm one of them. What? Michael, you're also cursed? So you want to steal CTRL plus? Unfortunately, while I'd like to do that, I can't absorb curses from another dimension. The original plan was to have Michael kill you, so your curse would transfer to him. Hearing this, Lucas was furious, so they planned to abandon him from the start. Just then, a voice came from behind Michael. I think I heard something interesting. Sano suddenly appeared from behind. He raised his sword for a sneak attack, but it was blocked by vines. So you copied the shadow movement skill. He curled the vines to attack Sano. It's you, isn't it? The one who opened the subspace and threw this city into chaos. CTRL PLS5, Giant King Spider's Spider Silk. Instantly, countless spider silks surrounded Michael. Is this your cursed copying skill? How ridiculous. Michael's body sprouted several vines to protect him. Such things can't hurt me. Do you really think so? The next second, the spider silk grew countless spikes, then continuously wound and contracted around the vines. Soon it crushed them. Michael jumped back the moment the vines shattered. Not only did you merge skills, you strengthened them. Is this the strongest curse? Sano teleported behind him again. What? Scared by my skills? Sano's attack was dodged again. Yeah, but that makes me want to steal it even more. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Sano quickly reached out to touch him. CTRL plus C. Search subspace. No copyable object found. Sano couldn't believe it. Unfortunately, you can't copy anything from me. Michael curled the vines to attack me. I was wrapped up in them again. Lucas on the side had already broken free from the vines. This is bad. Without the Holy Sword suppression, I can no longer CTRL the CTRL plus F curse. Instantly, massive information flooded his mind. Sano's phantom and Michael's phantom seemed to have an energy link between them. Why would they be connected? Could it be related to the subspace? Could it be? There's only one way for Sano to copy Michael's skill. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, Kurosaki had broken through the ice spikes. Master Shirasaki was still immersed in the illusion, unable to resist. So now I just need to kill this mage and I win. He charged toward Ares. Ares quickly used an ice wall to block, but it was instantly shattered. Just as massive magic surrounded him, Ares quickly retreated. Running is useless. Just die obediently. Then Ares' magic changed. Only those who master one thing are truly powerful. How could I lose to someone like you? Kurosaki suddenly noticed the sky had darkened. Looking up, he saw a massive iceberg falling from the sky. Its terrifying power destroyed the entire street. Are you crazy? Dropping something like that in the city center. I almost thought I was going to die. Then Kurosaki found his body frozen again. Don't worry. The ordinary residents here have already been evacuated. Now wait for Master Shirasaki's wrath. Only then did Kurosaki realize. Shirasaki in the sky had already broken free from the illusion. How did you do that? Did you absorb the abyss? I said I would personally send you away. He released a terrifying attack. It directly pierced through him. However, Master Shirasaki's eyes now showed a strange look. Don't you still have questions for him? No need anymore. I already got the information I wanted. Sending me to the abyss was his biggest mistake. I discovered a hint about how to overcome dark magic addiction in the abyss. But now let's go to Sano's side first. So what exactly did you see in the abyss? I found hope for victory. On Sano's side, the battle continued. Sano immediately vanished. Then appeared behind Michael swinging his sword, but it was blocked by the holy sword in his hand. Your teleportation skill is too annoying. Let me help you seal it. He stabbed the holy sword toward Sano's feet. Instantly, the shadows beneath were dispelled. There, now you can't teleport anymore. The next second, Michael trailed vines to surround Sano again. Sano couldn't escape and was entangled. Michael raised his sword to strike. Sano could only hastily raise his sword to block. However, his long sword shattered. No way. Looks like ordinary swords won't work. CTRL PLS5, use Kalisha Dragon Sword. Sano immediately pulled out his strongest trump card. One strike shattered the vines binding him. The massive sword light charged straight at Michael. After the smoke cleared, he unexpectedly caught this strike. The Kalisha Dragon Sword's power is truly terrifying. Without the holy sword, it would have been dangerous. Don't think it's over. Sano raised his sword and leaped high, but before he could swing down, a portal suddenly appeared behind Michael, and his body vanished into it. Sano's strike missed. Just then, the portal appeared again with the holy sword. One strike pierced through Sano. Even though your level increased because of the sword, your combat experience is still insufficient. Damn, I didn't expect the subspace could be used for movement. How exactly can I copy it? While thinking, Sano pulled out a healing potion. He quickly drank it. High-level healing potions can fully heal external wounds, but can't repair internal damage. The potions are made with divine power, so they can't completely heal damage from the Holy Sword. Let's see what else you can copy. There's nothing left, but it seems I don't need anything else. As soon as he finished speaking, Hellfire charged straight at Michael. Damn, who is this? The massive power directly knocked the Holy Sword from Michael's hand. It flew straight and embedded in the ground not far away. To block the Hellfire, Michael immediately summoned vines to block it. He barely managed to block it. It was Hunter Nanas arriving just in time. Are you okay? Thank you very much, you came at the perfect time. Thanks to your gargoyles, most of the monsters were taken down. Master Takuchi is also on his way. At this moment, the Holy Sword nearby returned to Lucas's hand. Michael, I'll make you pay. Though your flames are impressive, how long can they last? He trailed several vines to attack Nanas. My Hellfire isn't afraid of your broken tree roots. Is that so? Then how will you handle this? The next second, countless vines suddenly sprouted around Hunter Nanas. They instantly surrounded her. In this situation, using Hellfire would only backfire. However, the next moment, all the vines were cut into pieces by the witch's blade. I don't only know Hellfire. While Michael focused on Nanase, Sano took the opportunity to teleport behind her for a sneak attack. A massive slash instantly engulfed her. But again, she dodged using subspace. Looks like I need to get serious to deal with you all. She waved her arm. The ground beneath Nanas and Sano began to crack. Flower buds emerged from the ground, continuously releasing dark magic. Seeing this, Hunter Nanas immediately used Hellfire. She wanted to burn them all. But as the flowers were burned, more dark magic spread. The magic released by these flowers is 10 times that of the pollution tree. Once you touch it, you'll be contaminated. Most importantly, if you attack it, its spores will spread further. Damn, I should have chosen to copy the Holy Sword and given up shadow movement. At this critical moment, Lucas nearby activated the Holy Sword's skill. He instantly purified the surrounding magic. Sano and Nanase looked at him in surprise. They couldn't believe Lucas would help them. This action instantly enraged Michael. He curled vines to attack him. You betrayed me first, so don't blame me for being ruthless. As Lucas continued his assault, he quickly closed in on missile, sword technique, prayer thrust. Countless sword lights stabbed toward his opponent, but they were blocked by missile's vines, then slowly pushed into the subspace. Do you think you can defeat me with the power of the Holy Sword? How naive. Is that so? Normally, yes, but I discovered your subspace is part of the Dark Spirit, right? I'm curious what will happen when the Holy Sword pierces through it. The next second, the Holy Sword struck Missile's subspace behind him. Missile quickly controlled the vines to attack Lucas, sending him flying to a nearby area. However, cracks still appeared in the subspace, like glass about to shatter. Nanase took the opportunity to rush forward with her blade. Looks like you have nowhere to run. Missile panicked now. Being hit by Hellfire would be very troublesome. He immediately controlled the vines to block the Hellfire, but the terrifying flames quickly consumed them. Looking at the raging fire before them, with no movement inside, it seemed the enemy was either dead or severely injured. At this moment, Lucas on the side asked Sano, you can't copy Missile's subspace, right? That's because his subspace isn't a skill, it's an item like the Holy Sword. Connecting the subspace to other dimensions, Missile is an elf from another dimension. Then how can he stay in our world for so long? As far as I know, staying in another dimension long-term requires massive amounts of magic power. You're absolutely right, so I suspect Missile relies on some item. And the subspace is very likely connected to this item. I see, because I haven't touched this item, I can't copy this subspace at all. Speaking of which, why are you suddenly willing to cooperate? I did want to kill you at first, but when I was captured by those corrupted trees, you didn't kill me. If you had killed me then, you could have gotten my curse skill. You're overthinking it. I don't want to become a skill killer. Nanesu, who overheard their conversation, was very confused. What copying? What curse skill? And how do you have the Kalisha Dragon Sword? Didn't you return it to Ares? This was awkward. Just as Sano didn't know how to explain. Strange sounds came from the Hellfire. Massive vines burst from the ground, instantly extinguishing the flames. Missile stood on the vines, covered in wounds. I originally planned to play around with you casually before Michael arrived, but I still underestimated your strength. The real battle starts now. Immediately, numerous branches attacked Sano and the others. Everyone quickly dodged upon seeing this. Sano asked Nanase to use flames to block his vision. Receiving the command, Nanase immediately used Hellfire, instantly forming a high wall of fire. I immediately jumped onto the tree trunk. CTRL+, copying the corrupted world tree's branch. Seed containing 1/3 of the world tree has been copied to the user's body, can be absorbed and grown, obtaining the world tree's life blessing once it blooms. Users with 1/3 of the world tree seed will forcibly absorb this skill if health drops below 15%, and will no longer be able to use world tree branches. It seems Missile is at the end of his rope. The next moment, Sano immediately used the world tree's branches. Golden branches rising from the ground. Missile watched this scene in shock. The black branches on his body continuously dissipated. Damn it, that guy actually copied the corrupted world tree. Lucas seized the opportunity, leaping high, wanting to kill Missile while he had the chance. Seeing this, Missile immediately tried to summon branches to attack, but he failed. The World Tree's branches were unusable. At the critical moment, Missile quickly bent down to avoid the attack. However, he didn't completely dodge it. A deep sword wound appeared on his chest. Damn it, I didn't expect to be this pathetic. Just as he wanted to summon the subspace to escape, CTRL+C, simultaneously using spider silk and branches, instantly binding him tightly. Missile gritted his teeth. Once elves cross dimensions, they also become monsters, and my duty is to deal with monsters and protect citizens. Hunter Nene swung her sword heavily. The terrifying hellfire immediately engulfed him. Missile could only howl in pain within it. I'm surprised this still couldn't kill you. You forced me to this. I'll make your world become like ours. The next second, a huge spatial crack appeared behind Missile. Stop him quickly. If he succeeds, the entire world will be in danger. Sano saw this huge spatial crack and immediately realized this was the subspace's main body. To not miss this opportunity, Sano quickly rushed toward Missile, golden light-wrapped sharp sword, piercing through him with one strike. With tremendous power, he charged into the subspace together with Missile. This scene left both Nanes and Lucas unable to react. In the subspace, Sano successfully entered here. The surroundings were pitch black, seemingly empty. Sano immediately crouched down, planning to use the copy skill. CTRL+C, copying subspace. It's an item linking to another dimension. Cannot be fully copied. This left Sano confused, can it be copied or not? Forcibly stripping the dark subspace from the target's body, a dimension key is required to use this space. Sano quickly took out the key and found it could be used normally. CTRL+E, upgraded to level 3. CTRL+5, upgraded to level 5. All copied items and skills can now be stored in subspace, ignoring compatibility restrictions. Great, now I can copy the Holy Sword. At this moment, Missile on the side began telling his story. My homeland and Greece were both pushed to the brink of extinction. This subspace was stolen from the fallen elf king Grammar. So to get the complete subspace, I need to defeat him? Defeat him? He single-handedly brought my homeland to the brink of extinction. Before he could kill me, the dimensional door fortunately opened, and I barely escaped, coming to this dimension. I sacrificed everything to bring this subspace. Wait, how did you turn it into an item? I used that dimension's curse. This immediately shocked Sano. Another dimension also has curses. My curses shift. When I learned this dimension also has curses, I was as surprised as you. But I can't absorb curses from this world. I'm curious if your CTRL+C can copy them. So your real target is my curse. If Michael kills you, then presses CTRL+A. I'll immediately open the dimensional door connecting both worlds. Elf King Grammar will descend here. If not for Saigon, we would have succeeded 15 years ago. Why tell me all this? Because you're about to die. Just as Sano was puzzled, a giant claw struck at him. Fortunately, Sano reacted quickly and barely avoided disaster. Sano looked in terror at the monster before him. It was actually a giant dragon. Why is it in the subspace? This guy doesn't look easy to deal with. If this thing gets out, we're finished. Just as I kept dodging this big guy's attacks, a brilliant light blocked the dragon's advance. I didn't expect Lucas to come here too. You should have copied the subspace already, right? This dragon was brought in by Missile. It's been corrupted by demonic energy. Leave this to me. You quickly get out and close this space. However, just as he finished speaking, the dragon broke free from the Holy Sword's restraint, sending Lucas flying heavily. He fell unconscious, and the Holy Sword in his hand also fell. Seeing this, Sano quickly stopped, using spider silk to shoot toward Lucas. Meanwhile, in the outside world, Hunter Nanes received an experience notification, but she had only fought with Missile just now, not killing any monsters. So guys from other dimensions are indeed treated as monsters. At this time, all hunters gradually arrived here, looking at the spatial crack before them, discussing how to handle it. However, at this moment, the crack began to show unusual activity. An explosion sounded from the subspace, and two figures flew out. It was Sano and the unconscious Lucas. Ignoring the surprised looks around me, I ran toward the space entrance again. Must close the subspace before that monster comes out. As my skill activated, the subspace entrance was continuously shrinking. However, just as it was about to close, a system warning popped up. Due to internal forces, the subspace cannot be closed and must remain open. How is this possible? Don't tell me it's that monster. At this moment, the huge dragon head emerged from the crack. Then its entire body slowly walked out. Everyone looked in terror at the giant beast before them. Everyone run quickly. This isn't something we can handle. Maul immediately recognized this giant beast. This is a dragon. 15 years ago, just one destroyed an entire kingdom. The dragon had completely flown out, directly sending Sano at the entrance flying. Damn it, must stop it. CTRL+5, using World Tree branches. The next second, numerous branches coiled toward the dragon, quickly wrapping it completely. Success. It stopped. Just as everyone thought the crisis was resolved, the dragon roared and broke free from the restraints, its mouth continuously spewing flames. Damn it, it's about to breathe fire, everyone run. At this moment, Hunter Association President Fuwa raised his large shield and said, "It's too late, everyone get behind me." Master Shirasaki also immediately directed the remaining people to his side. The next second, the dragon spewed massive flames, turning everything before it into a sea of fire. Fortunately, this terrible attack didn't result in a single casualty. The dragon scales are incredibly hard. Normal physical attacks and magic cannot harm it. I have a method. Use Michael CTRL Plusin to eliminate the dragon. But the problem is, his target is you, CTRL Plus. At this moment, a helicopter came to the sky above the battlefield. Should we act now? Not yet. Wait until the dimensional fragment resonance strengthens. Just before the great battle, Missile and Michael were making final preparations. I'll leave this matter to you. You will be the one to open the dimensional door. Hunter Sagan should have made arrangements to prevent the door from opening again. Also, take this. It's the Guardian Stone passed down through generations of my elf clan. If I'm killed, it will emit a brilliant light, guiding you to find my true killer. That will be the best time for you to take action. Returning to reality from the memory. The Guardian Stone in Michael's hand was already glowing red. The red beam shot straight down, and the person below was Hunter Nanase. At this moment, the dragon was still continuously destroying the city. Most hunters could only dodge. At this time, Master Shirasaki raised his staff and used his strongest skill, Black Lightning. However, even dark magic was almost ineffective against the dragon. The most effective method should be physical attacks. But this guy is too big. If ordinary hunters want to kill it, the casualties will be enormous. Damn it, if Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi were here, there might be a way. Where did he go at a time like this? In a corner of the battlefield, two hunters discovered strange sludge, continuously wriggling. The next second, the sludge's temperature kept rising. With a bang, a stone person popped out of the sludge. This was actually Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi. He had become like this due to the dragon's flames. When he looked toward the dragon's direction, he exclaimed, "Damn it, this thing is too big." At this moment, on the ground beside him, small stone gargoyles kept emerging. On the other side, I also tried again to use the world tree's branches, wanting to restrain the dragon, but still failed. At this time, Lucas suggested, we can put it back in the subspace. No, if we do that, I won't be able to use the subspace. We can use the Holy Sword. I know you already copied the Holy Sword when you were in the subspace. Copy the Holy Sword tens of thousands of times, simultaneously using the power of Holy Light. I think it's feasible. But the problem is how to push it into the subspace. At this moment, Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi approached from behind. "Kid, I need to borrow your stone gargoyles." Sano was puzzled, not knowing what the other party wanted to do. "I'm going to make that big guy pay." So they reached an agreement, with Sano responsible for opening the subspace door, Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi responsible for pushing the dragon in. CTRL+5, pasting the moving stone gargoyle cores. Numerous cores were copied. The moment they hit the ground, they turned into small stone gargoyles. Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi immediately stepped forward, striking the ground. The next second, all the small stone gargoyles were blown into the air, then continuously fusing and transforming, finally forming a giant arm. Takuchi Tsuyoshi immediately controlled the giant hand to smash toward the dragon. One punch sent it flying. Didn't expect the effect to be this good. The stone gargoyles match well with his armor, but the dragon quickly stood up again. Seems like one hit isn't enough. Just as Takuchi Tsuyoshi wanted to try again, I acted first, commanding all the stone gargoyles to shoot out, directly rushing into the dragon's mouth. They were crushed by its bite. However, Sano's purpose wasn't this. The remaining stone gargoyles in the dragon's mouth were preparing to self-destruct. The next second, a huge explosion sounded. The dragon was knocked unconscious by this attack, falling directly to the ground. Everyone cheered upon seeing this, thinking they had successfully defeated the dragon. Sano had no time to explain, immediately running toward the dragon. Must get it into the subspace before it wakes up. CTRL+5. Opening the dark subspace. A spatial crack immediately appeared behind the dragon. Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi, can you do it again? Your stone gargoyles all self-destructed, so I can't do it like before. This was awkward. If I copy brand new stone gargoyles, their levels would be too low. At this time, Hunter Nene stepped forward to suggest, we can use Hellfire Shockwave. Must hurry. If it wakes up, it'll be dangerous. However, at this moment, the dragon had already awakened. Maul immediately warned everyone to run. The dragon opened its mouth again, wanting to breathe fire. Hunter Nanase immediately rushed toward the dragon. If we let it breathe fire, we're all finished. Just as the dragon was about to breathe fire, Nanase swung Hellfire with all her might. The Hellfire rushed straight toward the flames, but was immediately swallowed by the fire. The next second, the entire block was filled with scorching flames. Seeing this, Sano immediately used the shadow movement skill, teleporting to Nanase's side, wrapping them both in spider silk, then controlling the silk ball to shoot outward, successfully reaching a place not affected by the flames. Nanes, how are you doing? I'm fine, but my witch's blade. Just as she finished speaking, the witch's blade appeared nearby. I brought it along just now. CTRL+C, you have contacted the witch's blade. The system will automatically copy it. Due to its conflicting properties with the holy sword, the witch's blade will be copied to the subspace. Didn't expect items touched through spider silk could also be copied. Nene's turned to look at the dragon and said, this big guy's flames are too terrifying. How should we deal with it? Just then, a voice came. This is the moment. CTRL+N, cutting the target object. The next second, a yellow light descended from the sky, covering the dragon. Sano and Nanase were also within the light's coverage. Sano looked up at the sky in shock, having an ominous feeling. CTRL+F, discovered someone is using CTRL+N. Oh no, it's Michael! Lucas immediately shouted to Sano in the yellow light. Danger, get out of there immediately. The reacting Sano immediately activated his skill. CTRL+5. using the giant king spider's silk. The next second, black gas began rapidly covering the surroundings, until it completely turned dark. With a rumbling sound, both the dragon and the ground beneath it disappeared without a trace. What just happened? Why is there suddenly a huge crater here? And where did the dragon go? Who was it? At this moment, President Fua looked in shock toward the other side. Nanase was spitting blood in extreme pain. Nanase's arm had disappeared, blood staining her entire coat. Everyone immediately became extremely anxious upon seeing this. Shinoda Satoru cried and asked Sano, "Why did my sister become like this? Aritasara can definitely cure her, right? Don't worry, I'll take her to find Aritasara right away." Saying this, he opened the subspace, then picked up Nanase. Walking into the subspace, "Sano-senpai, please definitely cure my sister. Leave it to me." Just after Sano left, a helicopter appeared above everyone, with the Rising Star Guild's logo on the fuselage. The next second, Michael and his subordinates came to the ground. "Sorry, the attack just now was a bit excessive." Takuchi Tsuyoshi angrily walked over, wanting to confront him. "Our hunter lost an arm because of your attack just now. That dragon was an existence that could destroy a country, so I used a bit more force. Just losing an arm is already quite a bargain." Hearing the other party's contemptuous words, Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi immediately became angry. Just as both sides were about to fight, President Fua arrived just in time to block between them. "Sorry to disturb you. I'm the president of the Island Nation Hunter Association. In any case, thank you for your support." At this time, Lucas also walked over, directly exposing Michael's disguise. The mastermind behind all this is him. This shocked both men. Seeing this, Michael stopped pretending and smiled. "That's right, this was all my scheme. Unfortunately, you'll all stay here forever." Saying this, he activated his skill. CTRL Plusa. Select all objects to be deleted. Sano carried Nanase running continuously in the subspace, quickly reaching the hospital space. As I guessed, with the subspace, I can move freely within the corrupted tree's barrier. In the hospital room, a spatial crack suddenly appeared. Sano emerged carrying Nanase. Sarah quickly helped look at Nanase's arm. Aritasara was still shocked by the scene before her. Sano had already activated his skill, CTRL+5, pasting infinite magic power. For Aritasara, as long as she had enough magic power, she could restore Nanase's arm. CTRL+, repositioning the target's arm. What was thought to be an easily treatable injury suddenly showed an error message. Objects cut by CTRL+ cannot be restored. Aritasara had never encountered such a situation and panicked. "I don't seem to be able to restore her." System display, this injury was caused by another curse and cannot be restored through CTRL+Z. Damn it, if that's the case, what would happen if I used copy-paste? Thinking this, he copied the cut witch's blade, CTRL+5, pasting the witch's blade. Just as Sano thought he had succeeded, cannot paste objects cut by CTRL+10, the witch's blade in his hand gradually dissipated. Even this won't work? Sano wasn't willing to give up. He continuously copied 3 witches' blades, but still got failure notifications. The copies on the ground instantly disappeared. Damn it, I don't believe it. CTRL+5. Infinite copying. Countless witches' blades were copied, then immediately dissipated, then continued copying, repeating this process. Everyone else in the room was stunned, after countless error pop-ups. Finally, a witch's blade appeared that didn't disappear. Unknown error occurred. Can now copy and paste objects cut by CTRL+10. Didn't expect it to actually work. Then turned to Aritasara and said, "Let's try again." On the battlefield, at this moment, all hunters inexplicably had an inverted triangle target above their heads. This was Michael's CTRL+A select all skill. Several black lightning bolts struck him. The terrifying power continuously bombarded among the Rising Star Guild members. CTRL+, swapping positions with the target. Michael in the battlefield suddenly disappeared from his position, instantly escaping the explosion range. "Seems you're good at dodging, too bad I'm best at area magic." Saying this, he planned to use large-scale coverage attacks. However, at this moment, Michael smiled coldly. Black lightning is indeed a troublesome skill. Then he snapped his fingers. "I'll deal with you first." The next second, several small black spheres attacked Shirosaki. Surrounded by black spheres, Shirosaki had nowhere to escape. The parts touched by them were instantly cut away, then fell straight to the ground. "You damned bastard." Takuchi Tsuyoshi angrily charged at Michael. A huge impact sound rang out. Countless fragments scattered. The president of the Island Nation's #1 guild is nothing more than this. A semi-transparent barrier formed in front of Michael. Takuchi Tsuyoshi's arm was destroyed the moment it made contact. What kind of skill is this? Even Takuchi Tsuyoshi's attack doesn't work? Don't be too shocked. After saying this, Michael activated his skill again. CTRL+10, cutting objects in front. A huge black sphere instantly formed. After the smoke cleared, only a huge crater remained. At the crater's edge, 2 figures stood behind a huge shield. "Old man, mind your own business. This isn't an ordinary skill. I almost couldn't block it. Even my shield has cracks." Hearing this, Takuchi Tsuyoshi was shocked. Isn't this shield supposed to be indestructible by any weapon or skill? This is made from legendary giant bones, worthy of the legendary giant shield, to even withstand my curse skill. I advise you to stop while you can. Once the International Hunter Association knows about this, both you and your guild will be finished. What if there's no evidence or witnesses? Saying this, he activated the cutting skill again. CTRL+10. Cutting selected targets. Countless black spheres smashed against the giant shield. The terrifying power instantly exploded on its surface. Let's see how long you can hold on. Under Michael's continuous bombardment, President Fuwa and Takuchi Tsuyoshi struggled to resist. The next second, the shield's phantom was completely shattered. The terrifying black sphere directly hit the shield's main body. Takuchi Tsuyoshi quickly grabbed President Fuwa's collar. Under the massive impact, President Fuwa narrowly dodged, but his shield was already in tatters. Takuchi Tsuyoshi wasn't so lucky, half his body was cut away. The world's 5th-ranked hunter ending up like this is truly regrettable. Do you think you've already won? Takuchi Tsuyoshi said as electricity surrounded his body. Actually, even if my body is blown to pieces, this stone armor won't be damaged. The originally missing arm was slowly regenerating, finally forming a giant stone person, then swinging an angry fist at Michael. However, just as it was about to hit, he was teleported away by the opponent. The next second, he appeared behind Takuchi Tsuyoshi, activating CTRL Pluston to cut the target, instantly destroying the stone armor's arm. However, as long as there were stones around, the stone armor could quickly repair itself, immediately raising its arm again to swing at Michael, but it was cut away again. Damn it, it failed again. An infinitely reviving stone person? Truly worthy of the world's 5th-ranked hunter. You bastard! Shut up. Saying this, he swung his fist again. However, no matter how he attacked, Michael could dodge through teleportation. You might have forgotten. My world ranking is 2nd. After saying this, he cut away the stone armor's arm. Your attacks are nothing but futile. The destroyed arm regenerated again. However, Michael's attacks didn't stop, launching dark sphere cuts at the stone armor's entire body. It's useless, no matter how many times you try. Like this, neither side could overcome the other. However, Takuchi Tsuyoshi gradually noticed something was wrong. The usable stones around were decreasing. You finally realized. You've already become much smaller. There probably aren't enough stones left to maintain such a large form. I used my skill to remove the stones. I'll make your existence completely disappear. At this moment, Takuchi Tsuyoshi was completely panicked. With countless stone blocks, the stone armor ability has infinite possibilities. That's exactly why he fears no one. But now, the stones he relies on for survival are being eliminated by this person. This made him unwilling to accept reality. Michael raised his palm. The next second, he cut away half of the stone armor's body. It's time to end this. After saying this, he summoned dozens of dark spheres, bombarding Takuchi Tsuyoshi. After the smoke cleared, the stone armor slowly disintegrated. Takuchi Tsuyoshi inside had already lost consciousness, falling straight to the ground. The surrounding hunters couldn't believe Master Takuchi Tsuyoshi had lost like this. Anyone else want to fight me? There's still me. As the head of the International Hunter Association's research department, Ares floated in the air. A huge iceberg condensed above her head. I will punish you. Haha, do you think you can do it? You're destined to fail just like your mother. Don't insult my mother! Ares swung her arm. The huge iceberg crashed down. Is this the best method you can think of to beat me? How laughable. Saying this, he raised his hand and activated dozens of small dark spheres. At the moment of impact, a huge explosion occurred. The iceberg was split in half, falling on both sides of Michael. However, unexpectedly, another iceberg was attacking from behind. Seeing this, Michael quickly activated his skill again, but the elimination speed couldn't keep up with the iceberg's falling speed. The huge iceberg smashed into the city. The surroundings were instantly engulfed by the impact's thick smoke, just as everyone thought they had finally won. Michael stood there unharmed under the iceberg. Do you know the consequences of opposing me? The next second, several dark spheres surrounded Ares. Ares immediately deployed her strongest protective shield, but under the opponent's continuous bombardment, the protective shield shattered. Flying backward through the air, Michael still wouldn't let her go, wanting to deliver a fatal blow. Just as Ares was about to be swallowed by the dark sphere, a golden light shone. Her outer garment actually lit up with magical patterns, protecting her firmly. Under the huge impact, Ares directly crashed into a nearby building. Is this Hunter Sagan's immortal coat? I'd like to see how long it can last under my skill. CTRL Pluston, cutting selected targets. The building instantly exploded massively. However, Ares in the ruins was unharmed under the immortal coat's protection. First time encountering an item that my curse cannot cut. Truly worthy of the legendary strongest mage's creation. Just as he was about to attack again, Maul charged from behind with his sword, but was discovered by the opponent. Just one dark sphere counterattack directly defeated him. Shinoda Satoru anxiously ran over. Seeing more and more people gathering around, Michael decided to clear out these small fries first. CTRL Plusa, selecting everyone around. The inverted triangle symbol appeared above everyone's heads again, as Michael's cutting skill activated. The surrounding hunters fell one by one, watching people around them continuously fall. Everyone was terrified and wanted to flee, but it was already too late. The next second, dark spheres exploded where they stood. Unexpectedly, everyone survived. It was President Fuwa holding his battered shield, barely blocking this attack. All survivors evacuate immediately. The upcoming battle can't be won by numbers alone. At this moment, President Fuwa saw Lucas standing motionless in the crowd. Looking at his trembling hands, he said, "If you're also afraid, then I advise you to leave with everyone else. Moreover, you have no obligation to protect this country." I hope you can testify against their crimes later. At this moment, Lucas was struggling internally, falling into deep memories. Hunter Sagan, why must you fight? Now you even want to borrow the Holy Sword's power. This isn't even your country. When Hunter Sagan saw Lucas, he immediately understood. So your parents refused me because of you. In the near future, national borders and race will no longer matter. An era is coming where we all must fight with all our might. By then, you'll understand the Holy Sword's importance. At that moment, even if you feel afraid, you cannot hesitate. Michael, die! Faced with the sudden attacker, Michael merely raised his hand lightly. Citral Pluston, cutting target. A huge dark sphere instantly appeared. Lucas showed no retreat in the face of this. Using the Holy Sword's power, he directly shattered the dark sphere. Now that Michael has absorbed CTRL Plush, is he invincible? Not yet, because of the Holy Sword's existence, specifically because of the Radiance. Radiance can block all dark forces. Since Curse Power is similar to Dark Skills, Radiance still has some effect on it. The Radiance and Curse Power canceled each other out. Just as the Holy Sword was about to strike Michael, a pitch-black long sword blocked the Holy Sword. Michael drew his sword in front of others for the first time. I didn't expect even a coward like you would dare to be insolent before me. Shut up, you bastard. Angry Lucas continuously slashed at Michael. At this close distance, he shouldn't be able to use Curse Power. If it's just comparing swordsmanship, I'm confident I can beat him. However, at this moment he heard the opponent's mocking words. I'm certain this is the worst decision of your life. CTRL Pluston, cutting all objects in the surrounding area, but not including the user himself. At this distance, even your radiance can't completely neutralize it. The next second, Lucas was swallowed by darkness. A huge dark sphere devoured everything around. At this critical moment, several rays of light shot from the darkness. Holy Sword technique, Radiant Burst. Lucas barely escaped from the darkness. However, he was shocked to discover the Holy Sword made a cracking sound. The next second, half the blade fell to the ground. This is bad. Now there's no way to deal with him. I didn't expect you to have another trick up your sleeve. No wonder Ares' attack was ineffective against you earlier. Now without the Holy Sword, what will you use to fight me? Tell me quickly where CTRL Plusig is. Saying this, he grabbed Lucas's throat, then condensed an energy sphere threateningly. If you don't tell me, I'll send you on your way right now. At this moment, the space behind him suddenly cracked. Sano jumped out holding the Khaleesi dragon's sword. Just as he swung at Michael, he dodged in time. To steal others' curses by killing them, I don't think I'd feel any guilt killing someone like you. At this moment, Michael suddenly noticed the dimensional fragment was resonating. This meant the guy in front of him also had dimensional fragments, and he was actually holding the Khaleesi dragon's sword. So he's the CTRL plus C I've been looking for. Just as he was about to attack, a hellfire quickly struck toward him. The moment he was about to be engulfed by flames, Michael used CTRL plush to teleport away. Hunter Nanas in the distance glared at him, completely unharmed. Shinoda Satoru was overjoyed to see his sister safe and sound. It's a miracle. Even Master Kanda's healing arts couldn't recover this quickly. Most shocked was Michael, knowing the damage his CTRL Pluston caused. This meant her wound was formed and fixed before she was injured. At this moment, he was suddenly attracted by magic power in the distance. Arita Sara was holding a giant's heart, treating Master Shirasaki. It's actually CTRL plus Z, I need to target her first. Nanas in the distance saw this and immediately swung her witch's blade with force. Two sword lights rushed straight at Michael. However, he simply condensed a dark sphere, easily neutralizing this attack. CTRL plus 5, using World Tree branches. Sano directly summoned numerous branches to surround the opponent, quickly wrapping him tightly. Meanwhile, Shirasaki had regained consciousness, shocked to see his severed arm rapidly regenerating. Even my clothes and equipment are restored. Such a heaven-defying skill should require massive magic power. At this moment, Shirasaki suddenly noticed Arita Sara was actually holding a giant's heart. That bastard Sano said he was selling me the only one in the world, but it looks like he's made countless copies. Sano made you the first one I had to treat, and we need your help. Just a few minutes ago, Arita Sara offered to help restore the health of high-risk patients in the hospital. This would require Sano to provide a massive amount of magical power. And Sano's condition was for her to go to the battlefield Tojuju wounded soldiers. He also pulled out a giant's heart and gave it to her. Consider this compensation for sending you to a dangerous place. Just when Arita Sara was deeply moved by this, Sano delivered disappointing news: you can only use this heart for 10 days. I can set an expiration time for replicas. If you want to own it permanently, it depends on your performance afterward. The scene returns to the present, where Arita Sara is moving through every corner of the battlefield treating the wounded under Master Kinasaki's protection. And at this moment, the wrapped-up Michael broke through the branches. With an explosion, Michael appeared before everyone once again. You actually copied the corrupted World Tree's branches too. Those are from another dimension. Just thinking about how you can copy items from other dimensions makes me eager to destroy. CTRL Plusa, lock all surrounding personnel. Nanas immediately unleashed Hellfire upon seeing this, but the same trick won't work twice. A massive sword beam shot straight toward Michael. However, he simply raised his palm, CTRL Plusa, cut target, and effortlessly blocked it. At this moment, Nanas had already charged forward. massive hellfire swept toward Michael. Seeing this, Michael tried to use the same trick again, attempting to neutralize the attack before him. But after successive eliminations, he was shocked to discover that the hellfire not only didn't weaken, but became even more ferocious. With no choice, Michael could only teleport to the air. This hellfire was getting annoying. He then planned to target Nanace first, CTRL Pluston, cut target. A huge dark sphere swept toward Nanace. Just at that moment, CTRL plus 5, Spider Silk from the King Giant Foot Pearl. Sano used the Spider Silk to wrap around Nanace and pulled her back just in time. Are you alright? However, Nanace didn't appreciate Sano's kindness at all. Don't interfere with my battle. Calm down, this guy is dangerous. You help transport the wounded, leave him to me. Currently, only I have the ability to deal with him. After saying this, Sano charged forward. The calmed down Nanace also realized she had no way to handle the opponent's strange abilities, so she turned around to help rescue the wounded. Sano brought out the system panel, CTRL plus 5, using the light and shadow of Spider Silk, while activating shadow movement skill. He then instantly teleported behind Michael and launched an attack. However, the next second, the opponent appeared behind Sano. And I can teleport too, and I'm better at it than you. Sano immediately turned around and swung his sword at Michael, but it was steadily blocked by the opponent. Only the sword beam lightly grazed Michael's cheek. I didn't expect a replica to have such power. CTRL Pluston, cut all objects around except myself, and immediately the surroundings were enveloped in darkness. However, Sano wasn't panicked at all. CTRL plus 5, replicate numerous holy swords. The next second, countless holy swords surrounded Michael. Are you planning to perish together with me? Have you forgotten about my curse? Just as Michael was puzzled, a violent explosion occurred where the two were located. The terrifying power blew up the entire street. Shinoda Satoru, who had already moved far away, was deeply worried seeing the explosion. If you're worried about Sano, I think you can rest assured. Just then, Master Shirosaki passed by here. It's dangerous here. You should also quickly transfer the wounded to the underground space. At this moment, at the center of the explosion, holy swords and a Khaleesi dragon's sword were scattered. A hand reached for the sword. It was actually Michael who got hold of the sword. And at this time, Sano had also successfully revived. I see you can replicate your own body. By the way, can you give me this Khaleesi dragon sword? Use it as you like, this sword is about to expire anyway. Just as he finished speaking, the long sword in Michael's hand began to dissipate. It soon completely disappeared. It actually has an expiration date. If that's the case, what's the shelf life of your body? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, your curse can't do anything to me. Do you really think so? My curse power is slowly destroying you. Once my curse power kills you, even if you copy and paste yourself back, you can only become a weaker version of yourself. The more I kill you with my curse, the weaker you'll become, until you truly die. Sano was shocked to discover that everything Michael said was true. Although he had revived, he hadn't fully recovered. Sano, basic defense 245, skill level 7, proficiency level 10. It seems I don't have much chance of winning now, but as long as my health drops below 25%. It will activate the berserk mode of the Khaleesi dragon sword. Perhaps then I'll have a chance to defeat him. With this thought, he activated his skill, CTRL plus 5, branches of the world tree. However, just as the branches were about to touch Michael, he suddenly teleported behind me, the pitch-black long sword in his hand thrust toward me, leaving a deep, bloody mark on my neck. CTRL plus 5. Health has dropped below 25%, activating the berserk mode of the Khaleesi dragon sword. Immediately, the long sword in his hand suddenly burst with red energy. Sano raised this long sword and slashed down. Michael looked at the scene in shock. CTRL Pluston, cut all items around except myself. The terrifying sword light split the entire street, and Michael, wrapped in the curse skill, dodged this strike. That was really dangerous just now. I didn't expect that sword to go berserk. What a pity, you still can't defeat me with just that. You might as well go to hell obediently. CTRL Pluston, cut target. Immediately, black energy appeared around Sano, quickly enveloping him within. At this critical moment, Sano used his shadow movement skill to teleport behind Michael, and immediately launched an attack on him. However, it was detected by the opponent. CTRL Pluston, cut all objects around except myself. The two were instantly swallowed by darkness. CTRL Pluston, maintain cut area for 10 seconds. Sano in the darkness painfully died from this strike. CTRL plus 5 pace myself. Thus, he cycled continuously between revival and death. Meanwhile, in this space, Lucas was in agony due to the curse's power. If only I could have a replicated holy sword. Just then, a coat was draped over him. The curse on Lucas was immediately alleviated. This was left to me by my mother. I don't know how it does it, but it can eliminate most curse effects. Lucas was very shocked by this. Could this be... Just then, a voice came from behind. Lucas, do you know what's different between the skills Michael uses and ours? Just as you suspected, his skills are not conventional hunter skills. The cursed CTRL plus X can cut all objects, completely erasing everything. You should have noticed that you can't fully unleash the power of the witch's blade. It looks like something went wrong during his restoration process. If this continues, he might continue to deteriorate. Even Sano can't perfectly replicate items that have been cut. You mean Sano might not be able to defeat Michael? He has only one weakness. To make up for this weakness, he's been trying to obtain the giant's heart. The scene returns to the battlefield. CTRL plus Synth, the magic around you has been cut off. You can no longer use CTRL plus Synth after the smoke cleared. Sano, who had been tormented countless times, knelt on the ground covered in wounds. At this moment, both sides were approaching their limits. Your curse eliminates the magic around you. Is this why you want the giant's heart? It's too late for you to know now. What can you do at this point? User severely injured, unable to use CTRL skills. Sano quickly opened his backpack to check available items. 3-dimension fragments. These fragments are resonating with the opponent's fragments. It seems you also possess dimension fragments. Hearing the opponent's words, this suddenly made me think. The person with the most dimension fragments can combine them, and their combined power increases with the number. With this thought, Sano pulled out a long sword from his backpack. It seems you can no longer use the power of curse. What use could an ordinary longsword have? The next second, Michael teleported in front of Sano and pierced him with one sword. You and I are on completely different levels. Before you pass away, please hand over the fragments in your possession. Since you want them so much, then take them. As he spoke, 3-dimension fragments appeared in his hand. Immediately, the fragments emitted a strong resonance. The fragments in Michael's backpack automatically reacted. Don't you know? The one with more fragments can forcibly extract the fragments, no matter where you hide them on your body. The next second, the fragments in Michael's backpack automatically appeared. There's one more thing I forgot to tell you. When they combine together, there will be a violent explosion. As the fragments automatically attracted to each other, a terrifying explosion echoed throughout heaven and earth. The terrifying power blasted a huge deep pit in the entire area. At this moment, Michael was covered in wounds. What a miscalculation, this thing actually explodes. Soon he discovered the target in the ruins. 4-dimension fragments were on the ground not far from him. With a teleport, he came to the stone where the dimension fragments were located. Just as he reached out to pick up the fragments on the ground, another hand grabbed the dimension fragments first. Sano had once again used copy and paste to revive, and he was still holding the Kalesia dragon sword in berserk mode. Damn it, you're still not dead. As Sano swung his sword down, Michael quickly activated his teleport skill. However, he was still a step too slow. The terrifying power directly hit him. The entire block was instantly covered by the power of this sword. Let's see how you get up from this strike. He then stored the dimension fragments in his system backpack. That was really dangerous just now. I almost thought I couldn't revive anymore. Just like that time in the Snow Mountain Maze, I miraculously recovered. It seems I haven't fully mastered the power of curse yet. At this moment, the furious Michael stood up again. CTRL plus A. Select all objects in this area. I will completely erase you. CTRL plus N. Cut selected targets. Black energy began to continuously emerge around this area. How was this possible? Where did he get the magic to use this move? It turns out he wasn't drawing on the surrounding magic, but using the magic within his own body to cast skills. This is bad. The range is too wide. Even using shadow movement skill can't escape. The next second, half the city was covered by this darkness. At the same time, a man holding twin axes came to the edge of the dark sphere, and this person was none other than the world's #1 ranked hunter, Turner Miller. Is this dark sphere Michael's skill? Yes. This is worse than I imagined. At some point, Shinoda Shiro, the president of the Great Sage Guild, also arrived here. Boss, I contacted the White House. They told us not to interfere with matters here. Did the International Hunter Association respond to our request for help? The country is gathering military forces. It's starting to feel out of control. It seems we have no choice. At this time, Turner actually took out the last dimension fragment. Don't be too rash. I came here for a reason. I want to break in. He then assumed a battle stance. Transfer all your magic to me, then I'll leave it to you. So Shinoda Shiro infused Turner with his vast magic power. CTRL plus, begin storing magic. Overwrite previously stored magic. As magic continued to be acquired, Turner had stored 10 times more magic than his own. Grant user unique skills compatible with Titan X. Turner's body was surrounded by the phantoms of 2 purple giant axes. Holding 2 large axes, he jumped down from the rooftop, directly slashing toward the dark sphere below. This is using my magic to enhance his weapons, but this alone is still difficult to destroy this dark sphere. Just as Shinoda Shiro was about to help again, the power of Turner's axe was contending with the darkness. CTRL plus N, cut surrounding magic. However, the moment Turner's magic disappeared, CTRL plus, release 4th layer magic, thus continuously eliminating magic while continuously replenishing magic. When Turner released the 10th layer of magic, a crack actually appeared in the dark sphere. As Turner exerted force, the crack kept expanding, until the entire dark sphere was split open. Michael in the center looked at this scene in disbelief. Soon the darkness in the entire area was dispelled. Turner landed smoothly on the ground and came before Sano. I sensed the presence of dimension fragments on you. Sano was extremely shocked to see the person before him. It's actually the highest ranked hunter in the world, Turner. That thing around your neck is a dimension fragment. What's your purpose in coming here? Are you also here to steal the fragments from me? Now is not the time to talk about this. Let me deal with the trouble at hand first. He then turned to look at Michael nearby. It's been a long time. If your goal is also the dimension fragments, I advise you to leave quickly. You're still as annoying as ever, a complete troublemaker. At this time, Shinoda Shiro also flew down. Sano, where did everyone else go? They're all in my subspace. As he spoke, he reached out his palm, opening a subspace in the void before him. Immediately, Shinoda Satoru came running out crying, immediately hugging Sano. Teacher Sano, I'm so glad you're okay. Just then, Michael's voice came over. You, with the replication skill, it seems I underestimated you. I'm preparing to leave, but you must understand one thing. My goal is not the dimension fragments, but the CTRL key skills. Those supernatural forces that cursed us will appear again someday. We cannot stop them with these cursed skills. This is why the Hunter Saigon split the key into 5 fragments and sealed the interdimensional entrance. Opening the dimensional gate is tantamount to luring them here. Are you sure you're prepared to face all of this? Next time we meet, if you haven't become stronger, then you can go to hell. After saying this, he teleported away. Is it really okay to let him escape like this? Don't worry, next time we meet will be his death. After both sides introduced themselves to each other, Turner took out his dimension fragment. I only have this one. What about you? How many do you have? The rest are all with me. Hearing this, Turner was extremely excited. Then let's quickly merge them into a key. Calm down. This place became like this because 4 dimension fragments merged together. It's hard to imagine what consequences an explosion from 5 fragments merging would cause. Then we can go to Country M. If you give me these fragments, I can put them in my guild. I don't want to go to such a terrible place. Just then, Sano suddenly thought of something. Looking at Shinoda Satoru, and more. A guild? Maybe I should also create a guild of my own. 3 months after the battle with CTRL Plus X, everyone came to the Nevada desert in Country M. As the vehicle slowly drove into this mysterious Area 51, the gate also closed behind them. At this moment, Sano's injuries from the Great Battle had long since healed. This is truly unbelievable. We actually came to the legendary Area 51. All this is thanks to my communication with the domestic high-level officials. You know, because I'm the world's most outstanding hunter. Shinoda Satoru leaned close to Sano and whispered, "This guy is unexpectedly humorous." Surprisingly, Ika Nagaso was also in the car. Senior Sano, is it really okay for me to come along? Of course it's fine. After all, you're also one of the guild members. At this time, Master Takuchi spoke up. We came all this way here. Is it really just for that thing? This place is not only related to aliens, but also conducts research on hunters and maze-related matters. Our main research focuses on items related to interdimensional races. Most importantly, recently our research subject has been the special skills called curses. Hearing this, Arita Sara was very surprised, thinking this is why she brought me along. And all of us are looking forward to one thing, which is building a passage to another dimension. Not everyone thinks this way. Opening the dimensional gate is not just simple research. Barris, you're too cynical. From all humanity's perspective, if the dimensional gate opens, we can all gain more research and development opportunities. Moreover, Hunter Sano's father's research would become much clearer. Dad, what exactly are you researching? My real purpose in coming here is to explore the truth. This goes back to 3 months ago, at the H Country Hunter Association building. A post-war hunter meeting was being held. Michael has now become a global fugitive. So how is the destroyed city now? Don't worry everyone, the city is currently under repair and has been about 80% restored. This information surprised several people in the meeting. In just 1 week, so much has been restored. How was this accomplished? I'm sorry, this involves classified information that I cannot disclose to you. We have a special personnel whose information cannot be made public. What I can tell you is that most of the credit for resolving this crisis belongs to Sano. The people in the meeting room immediately began discussing among themselves. However, Sano didn't care at all about people's opinions of him, and asked Nanessa, by the way, how is Lucas doing now? His family has considerable influence. He's currently in an interrogation room. I heard he lost his position in the family. Most importantly, he's already handed over all the holy swords to the country. Hearing this, I immediately understood how he used them. When the battle ended, I replicated a holy sword and gave it to Lucas. Here, take this. I heard from Ares that without this sword you can't relieve the pain caused by the curse. So just keep this replica as a backup. The scene shifts to Sano finding Master Shirasaki to discuss future plans. Why must we go to Country M? You should have seen the explosion scene at that time. That was just the damage caused by 4 dimension fragments merging. If the last piece fuses, the power would be unimaginably great. Do you think this country has a suitable place? Don't you still have subspace? You can merge them inside. Unfortunately, I've tried this. Dimension fragments cannot be merged together in subspace. So the only place I can think of is the desert region of Country M. You're not planning to join Turner's guild, are you? How is that possible? Moreover, I now have 2 things I need your help with. 2 things? After tricking me with that replica giant's heart before, you still have the nerve to ask for my help. I'm forming my own guild. Can you help me? Hearing this, Shirasaki was very surprised. Why form a guild? My future guild always welcomes you. I'm sorry, I want to become stronger with my friends. I like having a guild of my own that isn't interfered with by anyone. In the Hunter office, Ares, I didn't expect to meet you here. I came to H Country to investigate my mother's disappearance. At this time, More Nearby asked puzzledly, you knew each other before? Yes, we knew each other before my mother disappeared. I've been thinking about something. Another person the Western Hunter met after me. He was once the head of the research institution in Country M's Area 51. Do you know Sano Kazuya? Hearing this name, Aries seemed to have seen it in his mother's notes, which said he was a supervisor at that research facility, studying items from other dimensions. That usually composed Western hunter seemed particularly gentle toward him, just like family. Just then, Sano also arrived here. You're talking about my father. Hearing this, everyone was very shocked. I didn't expect Sano Kazuya to be your father. Soon a week passed, and Sano's guild was successfully established. Is this our guild's office? It's fantastic, and I'm also the second member of the guild. More nearby quickly argued. I think I'm the second member. You're at most the third. Why are you so obsessed with this order? Hunter Nanase and President Fua especially came here to congratulate Sano. Sister, why don't you quit the association and join us? You're always welcome here. You two are really something, poaching my people right in front of me. While everyone was chatting, a figure walked in from outside. The person was actually Lucas. I've been abandoned by my family and now have nowhere to go. I originally planned to become the first member of this guild. You still want to be the first? Stop dreaming. Even I'm only the second. More nearby asked puzzledly, who is the first member anyway? Sano spoke up, it's time to welcome our first member. The scene shifts to the underground city of the Skull Tomb. Slave number 1. What are you doing? How dare you forget to collect the skeleton sword on the ground? The man being ordered around in the corner immediately responded, yes, I'll pick it up right away. And another black-haired man asked puzzledly, what's his name? Why do you call him slave number 1? What's his name? I think it's Ikunaga So. He owes the Mattis Guild billions in debt, so he's basically a slave for life.